The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
CID head Michael Johnson resigns amid investigation. CCA appealing that Bahama ruling in New York. And a four-peat for the Saxons at Junkanoo. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us, and we have a lot to talk to you about on this first workday for many of the new year. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, former head of the Criminal Investigations Department, has resigned from the Royal Bahamas Police Force 5 months after an internal police investigation was launched into explosive audio recordings with alleged corruption and misconduct. In a press release issued on Tuesday, outgoing Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander announced Johnson's resignation while revealing that other officers have been implicated during the course of the investigation. The file relating to the complex, these are the words of the statement, complex, multifaceted, and thorough investigation was sent to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions on December 20th, we're told. However, DPP Cordell Frazier requested more information, which was sent to her on December 30th. So according to the Commissioner's statement, Johnson resigned from the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and the Commissioner noting that he referred the matter involving other officers uncovered during this investigation to the incoming Deputy Commissioner of Police, who has responsibility for discipline. As you may recall, Johnson went on leave last July with his pay and benefits after the shocking recordings were leaked on social media. The recordings detail conversations between a man who's purported to be a senior police official and a now-deceased gang member who was previously wanted by police. One of the conversations detailed the wanted man purportedly trying to negotiate the circumstances of turning himself into police and the cost to secure his release from custody. The wanted man on the recordings is said to be Michael Fox Jr., who was shot dead in May 2024. He was one of 3 suspects allegedly connected to a $1 million heist at Lyndon Pinling International Airport in 2023, who have since all been murdered. The person who shared the recordings on Facebook last year also released what he claimed is evidence that some police officers are sharing with hitmen the GPS locations of men on bail who are being electronically monitored with ankle bracelets. The man claimed the hitmen then carried out gangland assassinations of these men on bail. It's unclear what further action will be taken in the case, but Fernandez says he hopes the DPP makes a recommendation soon. During the New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade, Fernandez credited police for their work on the case, saying, quote, "We took our time, the investigators took their time, and now that's how we got to where we are today. As we probed during the investigation, we found that a number of other officers were implicated in the matter." A man killed in a traffic accident that happened on New Year's Day. The accident on University Drive around 5 a.m. Police say a black Toyota Passo, which was heading east, and a blue Honda Fit traveling west collided. The occupants of the Toyota, a man and a woman, were taken to the hospital and were last listed in serious condition. The driver of the Honda Fit, a Dominican, died en route to the hospital. Investigations continue into some recent stabbing incidents. The first happened just after midnight on New Year's Day at Arawak Key off West Bay Street. Police say reports indicate that a 17-year-old man was attacked and stabbed in the upper body by an unknown man. He was transported to the hospital by ambulance. Then around 1:30 a.m. off Bethel Avenue, Millennium Gardens, initial reports indicated that a 30-year-old man sustained stab wounds by an unknown man. He was taken to the hospital in a private vehicle. Police saying now that those stab victims remain in stable condition in the hospital. Police also investigating 2 boating incidents. The first near Arawak Key off West Bay Street before 1 p.m. on New Year's Day. Police say a 34-year-old man was snorkeling when a white boat carrying 3 men struck him and fled the scene. The victim suffered serious injuries to his upper body and lower limbs and was taken to the hospital where he's receiving medical care. The second incident happened at a wharf off Bay Street. Police say that a vessel capsized, which resulted in the passengers and crew falling into the water. No injuries reported there. A teen accused of providing transportation to the gunman responsible for a double murder has been remanded to prison. 18-year-old Aladen Pelicanos is accused of abetting the murders of Marlon Darling and Del Shannon Zonical. The charges stem from a December 21st shooting at the New Horizon Cuts barbershop on Bernard Road. According to police, 2 gunmen wielding high-powered weapons shot up the shop around 9 a.m., fatally shooting Darling and Zonical and injuring a 7-year-old boy, his mother, and another man. Pelicanos was not required to enter a plea to the charge when he appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. The defendant's lawyer alleged that he was beaten while in custody and had to be taken to the hospital for treatment. The lawyer also alleged that Pelicanos had a pre-existing heart condition. Pelicanos was denied bail and advised of his right to apply for bail in the Supreme Court. That matter adjourned to April 24th. And a prolific offender with a rap sheet spanning more than 2 decades remanded to prison after being charged with 4 break-ins in western New Providence. Jeffrey Spider-Man Etienne denied charges of housebreaking, stealing, and trespassing at his arraignment before senior magistrate Anishka Isaacs on Tuesday. Prosecutors alleged that 38-year-old Etienne of no fixed address broke into a home on Christmas Day and stole a backpack, AirPods, sunglasses, $300 cash, a $60 bottle of Hennessy, and a $10 fruitcake. He's accused of breaking into another home and stealing a guitar, binoculars, and a pair of shoes. On November 26, Etienne allegedly broke into a home in Old Fort Bay and stole binoculars again. These ones valued at $4,000. The day after, Etienne allegedly broke into another home and stole $3,414. He's further accused of trespassing on another home, that same home, and Etienne's trial is set for March 20th. China Construction America and affiliated companies last week appealed the New York court judgment which awarded BML Properties Limited a $1.6 billion in damages after finding that CCA committed fraudulent acts, which ultimately pushed BML out of its Bahamar investment. In its appeal, filed December 30th, CCA said it's seeking the reversal of a deeply flawed decision that defied core principles of New York law, culminating in an indefensible $1.6 billion judgment for fraud and breach of an investor's agreement after a non-jury trial. The defendants in the matter are CCA, China State Construction Engineering Corporation Bahamas, and CCA Bahamas. BML Properties is listed as the plaintiff. And fresh off its Boxing Day victory and celebrating its 60th anniversary, the Shell Saxon Superstars won its 4th straight Junkanoo Parade. Performing under the theme Our Triumphant Journey, celebrating 60 years of historic achievements, the group won several categories, including Best Performance, Best Choreograph, Best Free Dance, Best Lead, and Best Music, scoring 89.50 points overall. The display honored 6 decades of Saxon's history, bringing founding fathers to Bay Street in a performance that left spectators in downtown Nassau certain of the group's victory long before the results were announced. And 5 Bahamians recognized in the King's 2025 New Year honors. The Office of the Governor General announcing that Demetrius George Moscow was awarded the Order of the British Empire for services to the field of business. Reverend Diana Francis and Bishop Godfrey Randolph Williams were awarded Member of the British Empire for services to the fields of religion and youth work and services to religion and community work, respectively. And Bishop Hensel Ruthnell Kemp and Dr. Inez Roll were both awarded the British Empire Medal for services to the field of religion. Overseas, a U.S. Army veteran who drove a pickup truck into a crowd of New Year's revelers in New Orleans, killing 15 people, had posted videos to social media hours before the carnage, saying he was inspired by ISIS, the Islamic State group, and expressing a desire to kill. The FBI said it was investigating the New Year's Day attack, in which the driver steered around a police blockade and slammed into revelers before being shot dead by police. Investigating this now as a terrorist act and did not believe he acted alone. Investigators found guns and what appeared to be an improvised explosive device in the vehicle, which bore the flag of the Islamic State group, along with other explosives elsewhere in the city's famed French Quarter. U.S. President Joe Biden said Wednesday evening that the FBI found the videos the driver posted to social media. He called the attack a despicable and heinous act. The rampage turned festive Bourbon Street into a dark, somber scene of maimed victims, bloody bodies, and pedestrians fleeing for safety inside nightclubs and restaurants. In addition to the dead, dozens of people were hurt. A college football playoff game at the nearby Superdome has been postponed until tonight. The driver defeated safety measures in place to protect pedestrians. The FBI identified the driver as 42-year-old Samsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas. The FBI says it's working to determine any potential associations with terrorist organizations. Investigators found multiple improvised explosives, including 2 pipe bombs that were concealed within coolers and wired for remote detonation, according to a Louisiana State Police intelligence bulletin obtained by the Associated Press. Impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol, in a message to the conservative supporters rallying outside his Seoul residence, vowed to fight to the end against anti-state forces, while his legal team warned today that police officers attempting to detain him could face arrest by his presidential security service or even civilians. Yoon's latest statement of defiance coming as the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials prepared to execute a detainment warrant against him that was issued by a Seoul court on Tuesday and is valid for 1 week. The warrant was issued after Yoon evaded multiple requests to appear for questioning and blocked searches of his office, hindering an investigation into whether his short-lived power grab on December 3rd amounted to a rebellion. The anti-corruption agency's chief prosecutor has indicated that police forces might be deployed if Yoon's security service resists the detention attempt, which could occur as early as today, but it remains unclear whether Yoon can be compelled to submit to questioning. And power has been restored to nearly all electrical customers across Puerto Rico after a sweeping blackout plunged the U.S. territory into darkness on New Year's Eve. By Wednesday afternoon, power was back up for 98% of Puerto Rico's 1.47 million utility customers. According to Luma Energy, the private company overseeing transmission and distribution of power, lights returned to households as well as to Puerto Rico's hospitals, water plants, and sewage facilities after the massive outage that exposed the persistent electricity problems plaguing the island. Still, the company's warning that customers could see temporary outages in the coming days. It said full restoration across the island could take up to 2 days. And El Salvador closed 2024 with a record low 114 homicides, continuing notable security gains under a second full year of a state of emergency that has given the government extraordinary powers and curtailed some fundamental rights. The country's president said via the social media platform X that the number announced Wednesday by the small Central American country's attorney general made it the safest nation in the Western Hemisphere. Not all nations had published their 2024 annual homicide totals, but the 1.9 homicides per 100,000 in population that the president said had been achieved would put it below what any Latin American country had reported in 2023. El Salvador's official total does not include the killings of 5 suspected gang members in shootouts with security forces. In March 2022, El Salvador's notoriously powerful street gangs killed 62 people in a matter of hours. The Congress granted the president's administration a requested state of exception to crack down on the gangs that included suspending some constitutional rights and giving police more powers to arrest and hold suspects. More than 83,000 people have been arrested since, the majority jailed without due process. The president has said that 8,000 people who were innocent have been released. Civil rights organizations have reported 354 people who have died in government custody during the crackdown. Despite the restrictions, the improvements in security have contributed to the president's extremely high popularity. For years, many Salvadorans lived in fear of the gangs that controlled swaths of the country, extorting, killing, and forcibly recruiting. Back in 2015, El Salvador had 6,656 homicides, making it one of the world's deadliest countries. In 2023, there were 214. In sports, the Bahamas Bowl is back. The college football bowl featuring the University of Buffalo Bulls and the Liberty University Flames set for this Saturday at 11 a.m. at Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium here in Nassau. This will mark the first time the bowl game will be played in January. Fans can watch it live on ESPN2 or stream it via ESPN+. Better yet, just show up at the stadium. This year's Bahamas Bowl features the Buffalo Bulls, as we said, with an 8-4 win-loss record, and the Liberty with an 8-3 record. The matchup mirrors the 2017 Bowl game that also featured two teams with 8 or more wins, showcasing the competitive level of the event. Read more about what to expect this Saturday right now in today's Guardian Sports section. Pennsylvania State University Nittany Lions defeating Bahamian Prince Strachan and the Boise State University Broncos 31-14 in the Fiesta Bowl at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona Tuesday night, knocking them out of the college football playoff. Penn State, on the other hand, moves into the CFP semifinals, where they will face the winner of the Sugar Bowl clash between the University of Georgia Bulldogs and the University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the Orange Bowl. Speaking of the Sugar Bowl, the college football playoff quarterfinal at the Sugar Bowl between Georgia and Notre Dame, as we told you, was postponed because of that attack in New Orleans when a driver deliberately plowed into a New Year's crowd, killing 15 people. That game, originally scheduled for 7:45 p.m. Central Time at the 70,000-seat Superdome on Wednesday, was pushed back to 3 p.m. today. The winner advances to the January 9th Orange Bowl against Penn State. The decision to postpone the game meant numerous traveling fans with tickets would not be able to attend. Ticket prices online plummeted in some cases to less than $25 as fans with plans to depart on Thursday tried to unload them. And from the NBA, Buddy Hield hollering through the locker room at Stephen Curry with some good-natured banter or cracks, jokes at practice with the team, as the two-time NBA Stephen Curry MVP is enjoying the high-energy personality from his Bahamian teammate. The Associated Press is doing a great story on Buddy. We posted to our social media. Look out for that today. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. For your first look at weather for today, we've got a prefrontal trough and a weakening cold front across the northwest Bahamas. That's going to continue to push southeastwards and move into the central Bahamas, where it will likely stall. High pressure will briefly build behind the front. Another stronger reinforcing front will push into the Bahamas late Friday into Saturday, and that's going to bring even cooler temperatures and a drier air mass and fresh breezes across the country into the weekend. So, for today, for the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, look for partly to mostly sunny conditions, mostly fair tonight, less than 10% chance of showers. For the rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, partly to mostly sunny today as well, mostly fair tonight, again, a less than 10% chance of showers. For the central islands, mostly fair and mostly sunny today and mostly fair tonight. Pretty much the same for the southeast Bahamas as well. Temperatures, we're looking at highs comfortable today in the upper 70s, around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook as we head into the first weekend of 2025, coming up in just a bit. You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news, smart talk, all day, all year.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village. Or call 396-1100.
You try to rest, go with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and binders, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. To name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
This Christmas, Fidelity Bank is still the one. With one easy monthly payment, one fantastic way to save, and one chance to win $5,000 in extra cash. Make that move to Fidelity Bank and apply for a personal loan for a chance to win extra cash today. Call 356-7764 for more details.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, start of a new way. You know that it's wake up, start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight, and Happy New Year.
Same to you. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody listening. Hope 2025 brings the best of all things to everybody.
Absolutely.
How's the year treating you so far?
I'm battling a cough and a cold, but other than that, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people in the same boat. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I hope you get over it very quickly.
Yes.
All right, we have a lot to talk about this morning. A lot going on. Let's get right into it with what's in the news. And in the news, a big story, former CID head Michael Johnson resigns amid investigation. That news coming late on Tuesday, well after all the talk shows had closed shop for the end of the year. So this will be our first time talking about it. We're going to get into that in depth in just a bit. Before we do, though, let's talk about, is it good news? Is it a tragedy? But the four-peat of the Saxons, which I don't know where we stand on this. But hey, congratulations to the Shell Saxon Superstars. They did it, four-peat. Is this the first time this has ever happened? Or no? Huh? Who did this before? Them? A four-peat? The Saxons did it before? The Valley? Oh yeah, which the original? Oh, back then. Well, look at that. Laverne, how are you feeling about it?
Is Junkanoo over? My God, that was the longest parade ever, Dwight. Listen.
Oh,
did
boy.
it act?
Bay Street is clear. I mean, the bleachers are still up there, I suspect.
Are you sure?
Well, they have results already, so I guess
11?
it is. I guess it's over. Hey, let's read
Did they win just by virtue of the fact that they endured to the end?
Whoa, my goodness. Wow.
No, I'm kidding.
Wow, that's...
I watched it, and so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to the Saxons. Well deserved. Yeah, they didn't. I don't see how they could have not won.
Right.
They would
have
had to rack up so many penalties not to have won.
And that's what everybody seems to be saying from the beginning. From the time they walked out, they could say, yeah, well, they got this. So no doubt about it there. Let's read a little bit from this article in today's Nassau Guardian, Rachel Scott writing about it. Four-peat for Saxons, group clinches win as it celebrates its 60th anniversary. So fresh off its Boxing Day victory and celebrating its 60th anniversary, the Shell Saxon Superstars won its fourth straight Junkanoo Parade, performing under the theme, Our Triumphant Journey, celebrating 60 years of historic achievements. The group won several categories, including Best Performance, Best Choreograph, Best Free Dance, Best Lead, Best Music, Best Food. No, that's a joke. Scoring 89.50 points overall. The display honored 6 decades of Saxon's history, bringing founding fathers to Bay Street in a performance that once again left spectators in downtown Nassau certain of the group's victory long before the results were announced. With 87.4 points, Roots came in second with the theme America's Game, Welcome to the NFL. That's an interesting theme. They should have won. Our producers, oh boy.
Pardon?
Our producer, he says they should have won. You know, he's a Junkanoo historian. He's an expert.
Okay.
Yikes. Well, let's see. What's the point? 87.4 versus 89. Yeah. It's pretty close. 89 points. Yeah,
small
close.
Margin of victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Oh, boy. So they won Best Costume and finished second in the choreographed competition. So the Valley Boys, which depicted Bible stories, came third with 87.18 points. That's pretty close as well. And again, people are going to say that this is, half the group, yet they're still doing better than some other groups. So imagine if they were a united front, what they could have done, eh? This is very sad. And, I hope they've got about 12 months to get it together, try to come together and heal these wounds. Boy. Anyway, they still won Best Step Down and Best Shirley Street. You agree with that, producer? Oh, he's nodding. He's saying, so yeah, they deserve that. Wow. Okay. Well, look at that. Under the theme Nuggets, Gems, and Jewels of Black History, one family came fourth with 85.98 points. And Genesis finished fifth with 84.89 points under the theme Exodus, a Promise Fulfilled. I think Exodus is the default Junkanoo theme, no?
Yes. Isn't that also stories from the Bible?
Oh, boy. Well, that's one story. But
it's a story, right?
Right. But at least you could, mix it up if it's stories.
Okay, plural, make it plural. Okay.
Anyway, Prodigal Sons and music makers were, as usual, disqualified. Oh, boy. The article doesn't say usual. That's my word. But
I know. You added that.
Oh, you knew that? Okay.
Yes, Dwight.
Ah, boy. What's the deal? Can they consider going to be? Come on. Just try it. Try it for Boxing Day. Just try it. Colors won the B division with 83.70 points, with Fancy Dancers taking second with 79.78 points overall. All right. Hey, interesting stuff. Let's get your reaction to it, folks. What do you make of the Junkanoo New Year's Day? But in general, we know that Boxing Day had some challenges. People talking about it just didn't feel the same. Some saying there was a lack of enthusiasm, and it seemed that they were trying to give away tickets practically for New Year's. What do you think is accounting for that? Is it the Valley Boys' internal fighting that's spilling over to this, or is it something else going on? The time for the parade, was it too early on Boxing Day? Is it too long, like Laverne says? The gaps were big on Boxing Day. I'm not too sure. What was it like New Year's? What are we thinking?
Maybe everything that you listed contributed to that.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Maybe all of those things contributed to them. Them having to reduce the ticket sales. But is New Year's ever as well attended as Boxing Day, though?
No.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with New Year's and New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, right? So people have a lot of options.
Right. But I think it may be, all of that when you sit down and consider, and, this is just me, the length of the parade. I know that some people may say, I can just watch this from the comfort of my own home. I can lay in my bed. I can go get a cup of coffee. I can eat breakfast. Maybe even start lunch.
I knew you were going to say that. Lunch and get dinner started too.
All of this from the comfort of my own home, because I'm sitting out there on these bleachers from 2 a.m. in the morning. It's now 10 a.m. So that may be a part of it.
So what do we do? What do we do to fix it?
I absolutely think that some of that, the separation of the group, I think that may have played a part as well.
Yeah. So that's the question, folks. What do we do? What do we do to fix it? And then again, even though you said you could do this at home, but even the people at home were saying this isn't for Boxing Day, right? This is kind of dull. What happened? What happened? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning. Happy New Year to you.
Good morning, my cousin Dwight.
How are you?
Happy New Year's. I am okay. I'm wonderful. And good morning and Happy New Year to Laverne.
Good morning to you, and Happy New Year to you.
I hope you guys have a very, very, very prosperous New Year. And Laverne, this year, I'm coming out the gate one time and just saying it. If you say my eyes are beautiful, Laverne, it's because they're looking at you.
Oh boy.
Dwight.
Okay.
Listen, I have several concerns and maybe one or two suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
I have a concern with these groups, sleeping groups, coming to Bay Street knowingly or repeatedly not making the numbers, and then the JCNP changing the rules and the regulations right out there on Bay Street. Okay, there's a penalty parade. No, this ain't no penalty parade and stuff like that. I have a serious problem with that because I got to defend my group. The way forward was treated over a year just for a name, an internal fight name. I think that that situation is deplorable, and the JCNP should be held responsible for that. Second of all, I have a problem with them trying to amalgamate two holidays into one. That's the Boxing Day parade, which is a holiday, starting at 7, 8 o'clock on Christmas night.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because now what that does is the one day that the Junkanose get to go home with their families, to have food, the spirit of get themselves together, open presents with the children and the loved ones, that is slowly being taken away.
Oh.
Because now you got to move your costumes to Bay Street, starting from 6, 7 a.m. Christmas Day. That takes that away.
Mm-hmm.
I think the merchants, because Celine and Penny would have never had, I think the merchants got to realize at least 1 or 2 days belongs to the Bahamian people.
I don't know if this is about merchants, though. I just think they were
I can tell you that's what it's about.
You think so? I mean, I just think they wanted the audience, the people to come out earlier and maybe have kids and give people something to do on Christmas
Can you
night.
imagine Dwight Payson, your lovely, you see those beautiful, remarkable costumes, the sack was that? And then when you get to Bay Street, 8 o'clock that night, you got to run down Bay Street.
Yeah.
You got 45 minutes for the B group and 70 minutes for the A group. Can't display them costumes properly. And come on. Now, my last suggestion is we have a congestion problem with the parade for years now. What I suggest is that we make the parade a straightaway Bay Street parade. We go down to either Elizabeth or Victoria. We rest at Victoria because there's a big parking lot there. And then we take Dazzle Street, go through one of the wider corners, get back onto Bay Street, and then we take bleachers seating right down to the Eastern Parade, where we would eliminate Shirley Street, and then everybody would have to pay, where the JCNB can make much more money because we can take bleachers all the way down to the Eastern Parade. And that is basically my suggestion. But congratulations to the Shell Saxon Superstars. And if your enemy, your number one contender, is down with one hand behind the back, you better take advantage.
All right, don't go yet. Okay, so my producer's saying that will be a challenge because of the hospitals and then the quiet zone area, and that may cause some issues.
Well, see, well, if you go through Elizabeth, you're right there in the motor hospital. What we would do is be taking the rest closer to the waterfront Bay Street to Victoria. That's a bit past the hospital, and then you go a block or two down, you let the groups walk and set back up on Bay Street through one of those corners, down, further down. So I don't think that would be a problem.
I just want to ask you, what do you think about the protocol and music makers and this kind
of... And that's what I say now, right? I started off by saying, I have a problem with that, right?
Yeah.
Right, you see when they put the way forward through, just for some name, dispute in which the JCNP had no jurisdiction. You see, we got to go through. This is the first time in history that a group the size of the A category gone through two exhibitions and really nothing come out of it. When you got the prodigal step just showing up with 30 people and makers and getting to keep the money, man, that ain't fair, right? That's not fair.
And
something got to be done about that.
And can they be forced to compete in B? Is that not a rule?
The JCNB was trying to force us to come start on Shady Street and force us to go in the F category. Why not?
Yeah. Wow.
Why not, Dwight?
Right.
You can't go there and adjust the parade right out there because one of your group members, your favorite group members, only got 50 people. You shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Okay.
Let's take some more calls. A lot said there. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
And good morning to Levine. I guess she could hear me.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, Saxons has proven that we do carry our ancestors in our belly.
Okay.
Because when they got, particularly on Rawson Square, because that's where the action seemed to happen, the music seemed to be different from all the other Junkanoo groups. There was more amplitude to it. The music was much tighter. You could feel the electricity and the current flowing in the music. Saxons have mastered that, and I want to commend them on that, because even my artificial intelligence robot was attempting to move to the music. So the music is really something that Saxons have mastered. And, you know, Chippy showed me how to beat those drums, but there was a time when I got into the trance, and I woke up the next morning and my fingers were swollen. So they know what they're doing. I look at the Valley, and the Valley simply shows the Bahamas the lesson. When you are divided as a group, as a country, as an organization, you take away from your ability to perform and achieve success. And as we continue to have these two polarizing situations with our political parties, the Valleys has shown us that we would stay in the Valley if we continue bouncing back and forth between two political parties and not uniting. So the lesson Bahamian can probably get from the Valley is to come together and unite. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Thank you very much. Text us 422-4796. We'll get back to the text messages in a bit, but let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Yes.
Morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, good morning to you and your guests. Dwight, I want to kick this year off right. I'm praying, Dwight. I don't know about you, but I'm praying for all Bahamians this year, Dwight. All that they and their family, they experience all of the Most High blessings, His peace, His joy, His love, and that we learn, Dwight. We get back to our roots and the foundation of the Bahamas, and we learn how to be our brother's keeper and love our neighbors as Jesus commanded us to do. I'm also hoping and I'm praying also, Dwight, I don't know about you, for a safer, better Bahamas, a loving Bahamas, and that we fix all of the major issues, Dwight. You think we can do that this year?
Oh boy. Well, we can start. We need to start.
We got to start because we know what the major issues are. We need to fix them for all Bahamians and for this Bahamas to be a better place. And I leave this last thing with the Bahamas. Please, all believers, be encouraged. But all our unbelieving brothers, please, while you all have a chance, give your life to Jesus, man.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean, Dwight? Because at the end of the day, when we die and leave this earth, and we have to face our Creator, that's the only thing and the only person who will be able to help us. Amen?
Amen. All right.
Amen, Dwight. Have a blessed day and continue the great work. And we celebrate with all those who celebrate, the Saxons and the Junkanoo and the cultural, the traditional. We celebrate. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Good stuff. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Bahamas. Happy New Year, Dwight and Miss Gardner. Dwight, because the gentleman said just now, before I get a chance and to do it the right way, I want to thank God just to be alive and to reach the new year. And thank God for everything in spite of whatsoever, and hope that this year, but I ain't pointing no finger, I pointed at myself. I hope I could do more what matter to God and be a vessel that He could use. Anyone who want to adopt it is okay. Dwight, I feel like I born a Saxon. My family and everything, and the majority of them. But some was Wally boys. The older I get and get into politics, I turn Wally. I guess politics and the Junkanoo thing, it makes a little bit, and ain't nothing wrong with it, because I hear a lot of PLPs who are Saxons, and they happy this morning. Well, first I should say this, and I ain't trying to get GNN to call back in or nothing, but no, he didn't mention nothing, but I guess he okay with it. I hope they satisfied now. I hope they prove their point. Who I mean in the way forward with Trevor Davis, the Prime Minister brother. I hope they feel better now. And I'm not trying to get personal or nothing, right? But as a Wally, I don't know how much other Wallies are there, right? I say, Motto, I said, well, I can't judge it with seeing because I'm blind. But the hearing part, like just like the caller said before, man, they hit it right on the nail. So I don't know what to call that, but I right there listening, right? So I say, they sound like get it. I say, but they get it, but I ain't gonna dance. Mom, when they play that Neil Diamond song, I said, Lord, they sound like studio music. They sound like no music but outside somewhere playing the case, play the junk. They sound like they're in a studio. Why they sound so good? Then I start dancing with them. I said, Lord, then I start feeling like I want to cry. Like someone dead. I start remembering people who was Wally back in the days and not dead and gone. That's the only thing that made them cry too. No, I don't know if it will make me turn a Saxon back to Saxon eventually, but even them Saxons I hear who was in the grave, they was dancing.
Oh.
Saxon had us Wallies dancing this morning or yesterday, New Year's. And I just say to myself, I hope the Wally them could get back together and they could do it. Because I don't know if I get the strength to go to that. I mean, I like to be alive to witness it again. But my God, they got to do that better than that. I hope they prove they playing and they feel better now. But Saxon, if it'll leave up to me with the music part, wait, to tell you the truth, Dwight, all of them sound like they do better than the last time. Even the world famous Wally boys, even the way forward, they sound a little better. The music makers with them young people from school, man, they sound excellent. Roots sound good again, and I feel like, oh, Lordy, I don't know if they could have tired or something, boy, but Saxon really played better than Prince. I don't know how they look with their music and stuff, but Dwight, I can come off and stop running on, and I guess you allowing us to call back because this is the top story, and
John,
the next
you can call
story
back.
is with Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson.
That'll be fine, yeah.
Okay, keep up the good work, and congratulations to Saxon. In spite of I know Saxon, they had me dancing, and they had me crying at the same time. They deserve that if they leave it to music. Keep up the good work.
Okay, great. Oh, wow, that's very, very descriptive there. Wow. In the grave they were dancing. Well, that's something else.
Dwight, I mean, even when you think about everything that has happened leading up to the parade, it didn't just impact the world famous in the way forward. It impacted Junkanoo. It impacted people who love Junkanoo. And so I think that kind of lull that you felt was because of all of that. It was so much happening. And people who love Junkanoo were affected by it. So, it didn't just happen to them, the Valley. It happened to people who love Junkanoo, who love to come out and watch the different groups compete at their best, at their optimum.
Yeah.
It impacted everybody because even coming so close to the parade, were we going to have the parade? Is the parade going to be delayed? They don't have the authority to delay the parade. What's happening? So you have all this angst leading up to it, and it takes a toll. I don't care what anybody says. The separation of a group that's been together for how many ever years is going to impact their performance. You can't pretend as if you're okay. It's going to impact you.
Absolutely. Wow. All right, let's take one more call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight. Sorry, GNN calling back.
Okay.
I have another suggestion I forgot to say with regards to the parades. Instead of clashing with the church on New Year's and having to start at 2 a.m., thereabouts, and then you get to join the parade, run on so much in the sun. When the sun comes up the following day, maybe we need to consider moving the New Year's Day parade to January the 10th, the morning of January the 10th. And then we can start the parade at a reasonable time, maybe 11, 12 o'clock at night, instead of trying to clamor with the church and stuff. I think that would be a good suggestion. Now, I know what people can say. Oh, that's Heroes Day or whatever day that is. Yeah. But we don't do nothing on that day, no how. And if the politicians will knight somebody, do something, they can do it that afternoon. But I think that would be a good idea.
It's majority rule day. I mean,
parade.
Not just, but it's majority rule day. So there's not really much happening at all. That's interesting. I mean, they're trying to do that with Grand Bahama, with Freeport's parade on January 10th. They want to see
we'll
that
let you know how that works out.
You're not excited about that, Laverne? I mean, because that sounds, I mean, that might be that weekend, especially it's a long holiday weekend. I mean, it sounds like a great time to go to Grand Bahama.
We'll see how it works out.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm keeping an open mind, Dwight.
Yeah. Well, but that's a great suggestion.
It's not going to work. I'm going to see how it works out.
Mm-hmm. I hear you, GNN. I like it. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see
I think it can work, you know. And it gives the Junkanoo a little more time preparing for New Year's as well.
Yeah.
Rather than that week turnaround, that quick rush thing, you know. Give us an extra week.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, I know a lot of people are in town and want to catch the two parades while they're here, you know, but they'll make it more difficult for that. But who knows? There's so many things happening New Year's Eve, New Year's Day now.
Exactly.
It would be, they'll give people, and as you say, January 10th, we've not been doing much.
Besides Dwight and Laverne and the nation, we could start to begin to turn Junkanoo into a week or 2 week celebration. In between, we could have this, we could have that, or we could have the other thing. You understand? And then you will ask a question of the Saxons. I hear it swirling around on Facebook that the Saxons made history. That's not so. The Valley Boys in the 80s went 5 straight. Tied the fifth 5 straight. And tied the fifth parade with the Saxons that New Year's morning. We went 5 straight. So tell the Saxons they got 1 more to go. Or 2 more in order to dethrone the Valley.
Well,
okay, thanks for taking my call.
All right, well, producer's disputing that. What's he saying? Go ahead, say it again. It didn't happen? Oh, they overturned it. So 4 is the record. So this is a record-tying feat to do a 4-peat. But they did initially give it to the Valley, but they overturned it. This is in the 80s. Oh, my. Always doing that to the Valley. Oh, boy. All right, so listen to these text messages. This person says here, Boxing Day should be the competitive parade. New Year's Day should be for fun. Nah, I think that would destroy it. That would destroy it.
I like GNN's suggestion. I like his suggestion.
I've been saying it for years. Other people have been saying as well that I think maybe New Year's should be one where everybody has one theme, and whoever executes the one theme to the best, I think that's what we should do. What do you think of that?
Would that save time?
You mean not have it be so long?
Yeah.
I mean, you might think you're in Groundhog Day, seeing the same thing over and over, right? If some of the groups are too similar, it might drive you crazy.
Maybe allow the B category to compete on New Year's.
What do you mean by that? You mean only on New Year's?
No.
You mean only the B on New Year's?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh.
No, you're also trying to kill the parade. I mean, no offense to the B groups, but one theme, and let's see who can be the most creative with it. And then you got to announce that one early so that everyone can have time to prepare. But Boxing Day, you do your own thing. What do you think?
I like GNN suggestion.
We can still do that on January 10th. But we just tried one time and see how it goes. I don't know. Some other messages here. Happy New Year, Morning Blend. Yeah, the Boxing Day parade was from 9:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. the next day, and still missed the fun category. What does that mean? Not to mention having to climb down bleachers to uncomfortable restrooms. Yeah, won't be going in person again. Oh, you mean you missed it? Okay.
Right.
Oh, dear. Random fact, since 2012 to present, there have only been 3 years with less than 100 murders per year. And if we exclude the COVID years, it will be only 1. Hopefully in 2025, we will start to value our brothers and sisters' lives.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy New Year to the Guardian staff, Dwight, and all your co-hosts. You guys are the best radio station in the nation, bar none. That is a text. Thank you, texter. That's very nice. Appreciate
Dwight,
that.
are you sending text?
No. I don't do it to Morning Blend. Some other shows, but not to. We're going to take this call before we go to a break. Happy New Year, caller. You are live on the air. Good morning. Hi, caller. Good morning. Are they playing the results? What are you doing? We can barely hear that, by the way. What's happening? What? That's all they wanted to do? Play the results? Well, okay. Thanks a lot. Mr. Producer, you got some Saxons Junkanoo music? Yeah, let's see if you can find that. Oh boy, man. Well, we said interesting discussion we had with Brian Adderley last week? Yeah. So we're hoping they can get it together. They're open to sorting out the election issue, and it's still going to be hard, as they say, for them to come together after all these horrible things have been said.
Right. And that's the thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You said some horrible things and accusations, and so.
But this is the Bahamas. Plenty of people have said horrible things and said they're never going back to stuff, and they ended up back, and
that is true.
Achieved great success after returning. So I mean, if it can happen almost anywhere else in this country, it could happen in Junkanoo. No.
Maybe.
Boy. This texter says here, no way Saxons won. Roots was robbed. Oh. No, producer's nodding again. Yeah, he's saying that too. Roots was robbed. Whoa. This texter says, I could not determine from the photos posted online how did the Saxons New Year's Day compare to Saxons Boxing Day. Were they fully pasted and fully costumed, or were they foil paper and bodysuits? The producer's nodding again. What? You're all cold. I don't believe a group should receive full prize money for being the best of the worst. Ooh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, my God. There should be a standard, and while you may win, if you fall short of the standard, fully pasted, fully costumed, you only get a part of the prize. He's giving 2 thumbs up. What's happening? Well, this is some bitter. It's only January 2nd. Let's not be so negative already.
These are people and what they have observed, Dwight. If that's what they observed, you know. I was watching it from home, so I may have missed some of what they saw. So.
This person says that Roots definitely were robbed.
Okay.
This one says Saxons had plenty old dusty costumes. Another producer's having a seizure in there. Well, they said celebrating 60 anniversary. Maybe they brought out all the costumes from the past 60 years. They went to the museum. And they let's bring this one. Oh, boy. Oh, dear. Yeah, you want to take this call? There we got to go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, dear Ms. Laverne. Happy New Year to you all, and hope you'll see many more.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
New Year.
Dwight, my issue is a little off this morning. Can't find no cat food, Dwight.
Can't find any what?
Cat food. Cat food. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have
in the stores.
Cat food. I didn't hear you.
You can't find it in the store. That's what you're saying.
The wholesaler, right? Normally get them from there out too, and I mean, food stores doesn't have them in the cans. I was wondering if anyone knew. I could probably find some cat food, because anyone who has a cat, they know how cats carry on. And I think this is a plan, because they know if they people can't find cat food, that they'll be miserable because the animals won't let them sleep. You know, I think it's a plan.
It's planned? Part of a conspiracy. You're being serious right now? Yeah?
I'm kind of being facetious.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know, but the result is that anyone who has a cat knows how cats carry on when they can't get the kind of food that they normally like to eat.
Maybe they're trying to make them be a part of the rodent population control.
Some cats, right? Some cats too bougie. They don't eat. They don't eat. You know what I mean? No matter what you put in front of them, it could be the best thing in the world. They don't want to eat it. They're really finicky. So I mean, that's the kind of some cat. And then the other cats eat anything, but some cats are kind of particular.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but I mean, back to but on the serious tip, I think it's kind of a this problem shouldn't even exist, man. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, they but I guess there's a reason for it. But if anyone knows where we could find some cat food, can you please let us know to say anyone, you know, because I really need fun. But like I said again, Dwight, welcome back, and all the best to you and Mr. Lorenz here. All the best to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Hope that gets resolved. We'll look into that. That's sad. Oh, boy. Hey, we got to take a break. When we come back, a lot more to talk about on this second day of January 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. He was an Army veteran, a U.S. citizen from Texas, and the FBI says he is the man who drove a pickup truck into a crowd of New Year's revelers in New Orleans, killing 15 people before being shot dead by police. The AP's Sagar Magani on what President Biden's revealing about him.
President Biden is mourning those killed by an Islamic State-inspired driver who steered into a New Orleans New Year's celebration.
I agree with you.
The suspect, Shamsuddin Jabbar, an American citizen from Texas and an Army veteran.
Mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill.
It was the deadliest IS-inspired assault on U.S. soil in years.
Bodies all up and down the street.
Zion Parsons' friend was among those killed in the French Quarter.
This is evil.
New Orleans Police Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick. There was an improvised explosive device in his truck, and others were found in the French Quarter.
An investigation's underway into that Tesla Cybertruck explosion outside President-elect Trump's Las Vegas hotel early Wednesday. Was it terrorism? A suspect inside the vehicle was killed. This visitor to Las Vegas, Anna Bruce, says she saw 3 explosions.
First one, where we saw the fire. The second one was, I guess, the battery or something like that. And the third one was the big explosion.
Today at the White House, President Biden will give a high civilian award to the leaders of the January 6th congressional panel, Liz Cheney and Benny Thompson. Donald Trump has said they should be jailed. The best time to be on the road today for those returning home from their holiday? Before 3 p.m., says Inrix, the data provider. This is AP News. Now to the skies.
Astronomers are gearing up for more planetary marvels in 2025, but warning they won't eclipse last April's total solar eclipse. Millions of people traveled to the best viewing spots in the country, like Mesquite, Texas last spring, to watch the sun totally disappear behind the moon.
It was awe-inspiring.
This year, there will be 2 lunar eclipses. On March 14th, the moon will vanish for about an hour over North and South America, and then just 2 weeks later, a partial solar eclipse. The cosmos is promising plenty of other wow moments in 2025. A 6-planet parade takes shape later this month, lining up in the sky to form a long arc. And there will be 3 supermoons lighting up the sky in October, November, and December. I'm Jackie Quinn.
And I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure. RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all-of-you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old
It is time for your first good traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In your real-time traffic, hey, not much to talk about. I guess a lot of you have the day off. Maybe. Looking pretty good on the streets in New Providence right now. Nothing major to speak of. Let's hope that holds. We'll update you after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And it's time for another check of your weather for today. We've got prefrontal trough that's going to be accompanying a weakening cold front across the northwest Bahamas. That's going to continue to push southeastwards tonight and move into the central Bahamas, where it's likely to stall. And high pressure will build briefly behind the front. Another stronger reinforcing front will push into the Bahamas late Friday into Saturday, and that's going to bring even cooler temperatures, a drier air mass, and fresh breezes across the country into the weekend. So for today, over most areas, we're looking at partly mostly sunny conditions today, mostly fair tonight. Only about a 10% chance of showers. Look for highs around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Friday, look for partly sunny conditions in the northwest and central Bahamas, partly cloudy for the southeast Bahamas, a 10% chance of spotty showers in the northwest and central islands, 20% chance of isolated showers in the southeastern islands. For Saturday, first Saturday of 2025, expect a mix of sun and clouds, a 10 to 20% chance of spotty showers. And for Sunday, partly sunny during the day, becoming fair at night. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Plan that can give you quality health care at discounted rates? Unlock affordable health care with Doctors Hospital's LAMP. Enjoy unlimited primary care visits, exclusive discounts of up to 20%, and complimentary imaging and nutrition services. Visit doctorshost.com/LAMP to register. Comprehensive, cost-effective wellness starts with LAMP.
Esso is celebrating the season of joy and giving away a year of free fuel. To enter, visit any Esso service station and fuel up with $25 or more for a chance to win. Plus, there are other exciting prizes to be won. Just remember to write your name, number, and email address at the back of your receipt and drop it into one of the boxes provided. Terms and conditions apply. Promotion ends January 9th, 2025. So don't forget to enter to win with Esso. Esso and the Esso logo are trademarks or registered trademarks of ExxonMobil Corporation or one of its subsidiaries.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice. It's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Wake up, it's new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, start of a new way. You know that it's here. Wake up, on the end of the old way.
We're back with Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio, 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning, our first show for 2025. Hope the new year is treating you right so far. Just want to get into this really before we get to the CID story, which we'll talk about for the rest of the show. Just really interesting information coming out of El Salvador. They had a major gang issue just a few years back until they decided to crack down, and now they are bragging about how they have managed to turn things around. Laverne, I don't know if you heard the story we read earlier in our World News segment, but I'm going to read the story again from the Associated Press. This is quite something, as we had a rough year here last year, right? But El Salvador closing 2024 with a record low 114 homicides. That means that number is lower than the Bahamas is, right? And just in case you want to know, El Salvador's population is over 6 million. Over 6 million, and their homicide rate, 114. And, you know, if you look at that, that means the murder count was even lower than that, right? And we don't do that anymore. Once we get into the beginning of the year, we that what we give out is something different. Because, right? Laverne, you there?
I'm here.
Yeah. So we've got a big issue, a big problem here. So this is the story. El Salvador closed 2024 with a record low 114 homicides, continuing notable security gains under a second full year of a state of emergency that has given the government extraordinary powers and curtailed some fundamental rights. President Nayib Bukele saying via the social media platform X that the number announced on Wednesday by the small Central American country's Attorney General's office made it the safest nation in the Western Hemisphere. Now, not all nations had published their 2024 annual homicide totals by the end of last year, but the 1.9 homicides per 100,000 in population that Bukele said that El Salvador was able to achieve would put it below what any Latin American country, and that would included in that, had reported in 2023. El Salvador's official total does not include the killings of 5 suspected gang members in shootouts with security forces. So in March 2022, El Salvador's notoriously powerful street gangs killed 62 people in a matter of hours. And the Congress granted Bukele's administration a requested state of exception to crack down on the gangs that included suspending some constitutional rights and giving police more powers to arrest and hold suspects. More than 83,000 people have been arrested since, the majority jailed without any due process. Bukele has said that 8,000 people who were innocent have since been released. 83,000. Civil rights organizations have reported that 354 people who died in government have died in government custody during the crackdown. Despite the restrictions, the improvements in security have contributed to Bukele's extremely high popularity. For years, many Salvadorans lived in fear of the gangs that control swaths of the country, extorting, killing, and forcibly recruiting. In 2015, El Salvador had 6,656 homicides, making it one of the world's deadliest countries. In 2023, there were 214 homicides. The advances have inevitably raised the question of whether the state of emergency can still be justified, to which Bukele and his ministers have answered that they have not yet achieved all that they wish. The Congress, in which Bukele's party and allies hold a supermajority, continues to renew the special powers each month. The gangs' repressive control made it difficult and dangerous for residents to travel between neighborhoods, including for work. Now residents say they can walk their neighborhoods without fear. In February, Bukele romped to victory, winning an unprecedented second 5-term despite a constitutional ban on consecutive re-election. A friendly Supreme Court allowed it. Well, that's another story there. But what do you make of that? What do you make of it? A state of emergency, pretty much allowing for these sweeping changes to a country that, like the Bahamas, supposedly, has major, major gang problems. Are you prepared? Are we prepared for some constitutional rights to be suspended, to get a handle on the issues that we're seeing here? What do you think, Laverne, before we go to the news?
In theory, it sounds great, but I don't think so. I don't think we're at that point where we're willing to do that. There's going to be an outcry that we're doing too much.
They got an outcry, too, and they did it.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Interesting stuff. Caller holds for us. We've got to go to the news. When we come back, we will talk about the CID, this investigation, where things stand now with Michael Johnson, what this means, what will 2025 bring in this regard, and reforming the police force. Is it possible? What will that take? All of these questions and more on the other side of the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product. One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product. Yeah. The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. And now at 8:16, it is time, 8:17 now, it's time for another check of your weather for today. Brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's going on. We've got a prefrontal trough and a weakening cold front across the northwest Bahamas. That's going to continue to push southeastwards and move into the central Bahamas, where it is likely to stall. High pressure will build briefly behind this front. Another stronger reinforcing front is going to move into the area late Friday into Saturday morning, and that's going to bring even cooler temperatures, a drier air mass, and some fresh breezes across the islands into the weekend. So for today, we're looking at partly mostly sunny conditions over most areas today, mostly fair tonight. Only about less than 20% chance of showers for most areas today. Temperatures today around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius for highs. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. In your extended outlook as we head into the weekend, for Friday tomorrow, partly sunny in the northwest and central Bahamas, partly cloudy in the southeast Bahamas, about a 10% chance of spotty showers in the northwest and central islands, 20% chance of isolated showers in the southeast Bahamas. Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, and Sunday, partly sunny during the day, becoming fair at night. For Monday, partly cloudy, with a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers. That's your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And at 8:19, time for another check of your traffic for today, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. Just a reminder, we'll tell you about this tomorrow. There's going to be some road closures for the Honor Guard Parade with the police force. And that's going to begin tomorrow afternoon to facilitate the Honor Guard Parade for the official handing over ceremony of the Office of the Commissioner of Police. So that's around 2:30 p.m. They're going to be traffic changes around 1:30 event for that. We'll give you all the details about that tomorrow. For today, though, in your real-time traffic, a lot of you luckily have the day off, it appears, and so the streets of New Providence are looking pretty decent this morning. Just a few people in front of you if you're on Mile Butler Highway, getting close to the Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway roundabout, and pockets at the major intersections along Prince Charles Drive. Seeing a bit of slow-moving traffic through downtown at this hour. Bay Street looking busy for you in the downtown area near the Straw Market on the way to Charlotte Street. So keep that in mind if you're there. Otherwise, not much to talk about this morning, and that's good stuff. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
Craving that fresh, famous food, but don't want to break the bank? Wendy's has got you covered. You can now enjoy the $5 Dave's deal at all participating Wendy's locations. Enjoy a Dave's single, a classic, or spicy chicken sandwich made with fresh ingredients for just $5. So don't compromise on flavor just because you're on a budget. Wendy's always offers fresh, famous food at a great price. Certain conditions apply.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
This holiday season, use your CIBC Caribbean Visa credit or Visa debit card to book travel, shop online, buy gas, groceries, and everything else. And you could win up to $2,500 US. Yes! Win with joy with CIBC Caribbean. Lucky CIBC Caribbean cardholders like you will have the chance to win up to $2,500 US this holiday season just for using your card. Terms and conditions apply. Visit www.cibcfcib.com/cards, the joy of giving, for more details.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with you. Laverne, I think, has left us. She's not feeling well, so hopefully she feels better. She's still... Yeah? So hopefully she gets better. Yeah. All right. Get better soon. Not a good way to start the year. Under the weather. Oh, boy. Anyway, all right, so let's get into it. This is what the big story is. Former CID head Michael Johnson resigns amid investigation. We found out about this Tuesday night. Many had been waiting all year, it feels like, to find out what was going to happen with this CID probe. And Tuesday night, this came out. Our Tanika Thompson writing about it. So Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, former head of the Criminal Investigation Department, the CID, has resigned from the Royal Bahamas Police Force 5 months after an internal police investigation was launched into explosive audio recordings which alleged corruption and misconduct. In a press release issued on Tuesday, outgoing Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander announced Johnson's resignation while revealing that other officers have been implicated during the course of the investigation. The file relating to the complex, this is a quote, complex, multifaceted, and thorough investigation sent to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions on December 20th. However, DPP, Director of Public Prosecutions Cordell Frazier, requested more information, which was sent to her on December 30th. So, in Fernander's statement, he said Johnson has resigned from the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Quote, I have referred the matter involving other officers uncovered during this investigation to the incoming Deputy Commissioner of Police, who has responsibility for discipline. As you may recall, Johnson went on leave last July with his pay and benefits after the shocking recordings were leaked on social media. The recordings detail conversations between a man who is purported to be a senior police official and a now deceased gang member who was previously wanted by police. One of the conversations detailed the wanted man purportedly trying to negotiate the circumstances of turning himself into police and the cost to secure his release from custody. The wanted man on the recordings is said to be Michael Fox Jr., who was shot dead in May 2024. He was one of 3 suspects allegedly connected to a $1 million heist at Lynden Pindling International Airport in 2023, who have since all been murdered. The person who shared the recordings on Facebook last year also released what he claimed as evidence that some police officers are sharing with hitmen the GPS locations of men on bail who were being electronically monitored by ankle bracelets. The man claimed the hitmen then carried out gangland assassinations of these men on bail. It's unclear what further actions will be taken in the case, but Fernando says he hopes the DPP will make recommendations soon. Now, during the New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade, Fernando credited police for their work on the case. He said, quote, we took our time, the investigators took their time, and that's how we got to where we are today. As we probed during the investigation, we found that a number of other officers were implicated in the matter. The RBPF Security and Intelligence Branch, the SIB, was in charge of the investigation and received help from law enforcement agencies in the United States and United Kingdom. Well, we've wondered about that, how much help they got, how and what form that took. Still not clear yet exactly what that looked like, but yeah, interesting stuff there. All right, so I just want to read a little bit from this other article. This is from the Tribune today. Because Fernando did have a lot to say at the Junkanoo Parade. So this article says that outgoing Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez says police arrested and interviewed a former high-ranking officer and an attorney at the center of a major corruption investigation involving leaked voice recordings. Fernandez says both men were released pending further inquiries as his office awaits the Director of Public Prosecution's review and recommendation in the matter. He suggested the investigation scope was broader than initially revealed, saying, quote, "It's not just the voice note, it goes beyond the voice note." The investigation surrounding voice notes that were purported to capture a quid pro quo arrangement involving a senior police officer, a lawyer, and two murdered men, Michael Fox Jr. and Dino Smith. The conversation centered around a $1.5 million airport bank car heist in November 2023. Fox Jr. and Smith, both of whom are now dead, were suspects in that matter, but were never charged. Two other men, 34-year-old Oral Roberts and 26-year-old Akil Holmes, were charged in connection with the robbery. Roberts was killed in Fox Hill last year. The police chief's comments to reporters followed the resignation of Michael Johnson, the former head of the Central Investigations Department. Johnson had taken garden leave last year while authorities investigated the case. He was questioned 2 weeks ago as part of the probe, according to Commissioner Fernandez. That was the first time? 2 weeks ago? Or that was the last time? It better be the last time, not the first time. After all this time, that was the first time? I don't know. Anyway, 2 weeks ago he was questioned. Ah, boy. 5 months. I almost had another F word in the middle of the month. 5 months. 2 weeks ago. Okay. Anyway, asked if Mr. Johnson was pressured to resign based on the findings of the police investigation. Commissioner Fernandez said he could not comment on what led to the decision to leave the force. Why are we playing games in this place? Oh, my God. We started off the year with foolishness. Breathe. Okay. He told reporters that police could not discharge Johnson because the investigations were still ongoing. Oh, my. But other people caught on video. I mean, video is stronger, I guess. But they're immediately dismissed. But you have audio recordings, and you have to do a 5-month probe. In a statement on Tuesday, Commissioner Fernandez confirmed that he had referred matters involving other officers uncovered in the investigation to the incoming Deputy Police Commissioner, who will be responsible for discipline. Pressed for more details yesterday, the Commissioner revealed that more than 4 officers were implicated. More than 4 officers were implicated. He said, quote, "That's why we continue to say that we don't investigate in the media, and the investigators took our time, and that's how we got to where we are today. We want to throw the net at the end of the day, not only looking at one individual, but as we probe the investigation, we find that a number of other officers were implicated in the matter." Commissioner Fernandez had promised to report to the public on the matter before the end of the year. He said police were satisfied with their investigation after completing their due diligence into what he described as a complex probe. He added that he hopes the DPP will provide her recommendation in a reasonable time. Well, yes, less than 5 months, I hope. Okay, let us get your reaction. I know many of you have been really waiting to respond to this and talk about it. Let's hear from you on this. What are you expecting? What are you hoping for now going forward? A lot of, the spotlight is on the DPP here. And so many questions remain about this probe, what's going to come out of it, what was found, who are these officers. No one's being charged yet. You're waiting to hear from the DPP. That's how this works? Okay. Let's talk. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. 242-300-5720. Just as an aside, did you see, and this is so strange to me, so do you remember the U.S. indictment, all that stuff? How many weeks ago was that? Did you see that they just issued a warrant for one of the guys? Well, why not immediately? That's a lot of time that you have to go somewhere else. We're doing some weird things here, or is it me? Am I the weirdo? Probably. But hey, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Happy New Year.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Yes, I hope she's listening. I hope she's
Happy New Year
better.
to both of you, your family, and also 96.9.
Yes, thank you so much.
Dwight,
You too.
two things. First of all, the Junkanoo. From 2018 on another radio station, Dwight, I had said that prodigal sons need to be either relegated or moved to some family island to rush. Okay? Historically, when you go back to the wait time during Junkanoo, it has always been prodigal son. Always been prodigal son, okay? So this is the only country in the world that I see where you have one thing after another, the same old story like a merry-go-round, you know? They can't meet requirements. They still get the seed money and so on. So obviously, that needs to be regulated. That needs to be fixed. That story needs to be buried. The second part on Junkanoo theming, I had also said that every Junkanoo group needs to pick a team. You put it in a bag, and you allow every group to pick one of those teams. Because if you check Junkanoo back in the last 10, 20 years now, based on the New Year's preparations Junkanoo, you'll see where the most teams that came out was either Cowboys or Indians, was basically more or less the lazy team. Right? So let everybody pick a team, put it in a bag, and every group just picks one of those teams, and then you go. Now, the Michael Johnson saga, right? If this country really lives by what is called the Westminster system, when you have a highly profile public figure that's involved in some scandal that is actually a major distraction in the negative, that officer needs to be asked to resign immediately. That should not go on 5-6 months. Okay, they should have been asked immediately, because that's a public figure and it causes a major distraction. So he should have been asked to resign a long time. Okay? But that's yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
Based on the Westminster system, if it lives in this country. Thank you very much. And,
just
by the way,
if you're a decent person.
Like to hear Brad on the radio again, reading the news. That brings another fresh air on your radio.
Okay.
Fresh air. Thank you.
Thanks a lot with the sports there. Yeah, okay. Good stuff. Call in, folks, 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. What do you make of what's happening with Michael Johnson and this where things stand with this investigation? Now waiting to hear what the DPP is going to do about this information. What is the information? Why are we in suspense here? What is going on? And will we never find out if the DPP doesn't decide that there's enough evidence to move forward? What's going to happen to the people who are being investigated? This is just so strange. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne. And Happy New Year to you and Guardian Radio and the Bahamian public at large.
Happy New Year.
Dwight, the previous caller has touched on something that we, as Bahamians, concerned, law-abiding Bahamians, have been calling for quite some time, and that is the step-down or immediate resignation, of persons that we regard as high-profile. We've heard many allegations. You're using the police force as a whipping post right now, but we've heard many allegations of many persons in holding high office. And if the same scrutiny that is to be used or is being used on the police force was also done on these persons. Besides having, because of who these persons are, the information seemed to be swept under the rug. Perhaps Bahamian people would have more confidence in the systems that we have engaged right now. But right now, there's a disconnect. You know, the police force is being whipped and beaten. But what about all these other allegations about other persons in these the other higher offices, places like immigration, places like in our national security, places like our national insurance, places like in the Prime Minister's office? Where are these allegations being thoroughly investigated as this matter is investigated? So, in essence, what I'm saying is, in 2025, I want to see the same veracity that's being used in this matter. Everybody is under the microscope, is being viewed in the same light. I want to see the same veracity being used to bring answers to the Bahamian people for all of these persons who have been suspected. And mind you, not saying guilty, you know, but because they hold the highest offices in this country, which is supposed to be the example that you want the rest of us to follow. Let us also see justice to be seen to be done, and not just letting us be out here thinking, look at all these suspicions, but nothing is being done. So 2025, let's see what happens, okay? Thanks for taking my call this morning. God bless all.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to keep reading this line over and over because I just cannot wrap my mind around this, and I need somebody to tell me, send me a message, police force, someone, please tell me this is not quite right. Again, this is from the Tribune article. Johnson has taken garden leave. All right, we knew this has been, how many months? 5 months. He was questioned 2 weeks ago as part of the probe, according to Commissioner Fernandez. Oh, boy. This is not the first time, right? Please tell me. There's no way that was the first time. After all of this? Oh, I think it's time now. It's December. Come on in. What? Ah, boy. Jokey. But they'll clear it up. They're going to say, no, that was the most recent time, was 2 weeks ago. Right? That's what that means. Right, folks? Because it's time to pack it in. Everybody, just pack up and get out of here if this is the first time. Because they think we're clowns. They think we're jokers. And we got to shut these people up, so we got to do something. Is today a holiday? Because I think I should go. This person says here, a question similar to what is being asked about the crime issue was on a Facebook page. And the response is worth repeating. Crime will continue to increase at the same rate that the disenfranchisement of the youth increases. These problems did not appear out of nowhere. Track the statistical growth of crime. Now compare it to the investment in education. You will see the congruency of my arguments. Do the same for the availability of economic opportunities to those that did manage to excel in that failed education system, and the growth of corruption, and you will see the same correlation. How can a country stop crime when they are breeding the very individuals that become the criminals? It is about leadership combined with intestinal fortitude to do what is necessary for the greater good rather than popularity. It is now no longer about changing the mindset of the people. The greater duty is to change the mindset of the leaders. Well, that's the same thing, though. Mindset of the leaders, the people. This person says here, why did the Commissioner of Police tell the public he was arrested before he resigned? May the Lord place his hands to dearly reform this nation. What do you mean? Why not? I mean, what's your issue? They brought him in. They questioned him. Okay. When you're doing an investigation into a matter, you wait until you get enough information before you question a suspect. It normally happens at the end of your investigation. Okay. mean, special cases, because they bring in people to question them hours after murder. And what are they going on? What, drunk witness? So please stop. 5 months, voice notes, months of paid leave, 2 weeks ago. Please. Yeah. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Again, yeah. Very, very touchy topic that you're on. Dwight, this country is so corrupt from top to bottom. We done gone so far down a rabbit hole of corruption, Dwight. I don't know what kind of turning back we need to do in order to correct this problem. I put something out there. An immigrant in 2022 applied for Bahamian citizenship. He was granted that Bahamian citizenship in 2022. The same day he got the letter for Bahamian citizenship, he was granted the country of his origin, some papers from the country of his origin, so he could still function. A week later, he got a passport from his country of origin, a brand new passport given to him. And then 2 weeks later, he was given a Bahamian passport based on the letter of him getting his citizenship. Dwight, now can you multiply that, Dwight, by a couple hundred or a couple of thousand that went that same way? Can you believe it, Dwight?
Okay. Make your point. Continue to make your point.
I call for the Minister of Foreign Affairs resignation. Immediate resignation. Right, that is supposed to happen.
Where are you getting your information
Constitution.
from? Your information is verified. Where are you getting this from?
I didn't. That's why I call no name and no country for it, because I got the paperwork.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I get the paperwork from the foreign embassy that did it.
How did you do that?
Well, that's just Ghetto News Network.
Oh, okay.
I got to keep that secret.
Get yourself in the problem.
But I have it.
Okay. Interesting. Serious allegations there. Wow. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks for taking my call.
Ah, boy. This is 2025. Okay. This texter says here that interview with the commissioner concerning Michael Johnson stinks to high hell. Okay. He can throw anything at the media now, seeing as his tenure has come to an end and he doesn't have to answer any more questions. Well, we've got more now than ever before, I suspect. More questions now than ever before. This person says here, my question is what also happens to the alleged lawyer whose voice was also on the audio? What should happen? Well, as you heard, I don't know if it's the same high-ranking officer, but many have been questioned and are implicated in this investigation, apparently, and a lawyer as well was questioned. We will see. We will see what the DPP determines. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Good morning. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing this morning?
Doing well.
Well, happy New Year to my beloved Bahamas, one of the richest countries in the world. And I agree with my boy, Stopper Marvin. See this here, Dwight. We just call ourselves the fifth estate. You guys are the fourth estate. And people be trying to give you hints and things all the time. We know the country can walk from top to bottom. See, what the journalists need to do in this country, stop friending these politicians.
Stop what?
See, you all got a job to do, you know.
Stop doing what?
The truth.
Stop doing what with the politicians?
You PR, some of these directors, they need to go home, you know.
We didn't hear you. What did you say? Stop doing what with the politicians?
Stop friending them, man. Stop friending them.
Okay.
Ask them the hard questions, man. Dwight, again, I call it show every day to tell them, remember the parliament, if they ain't declare, they need to don't get paid and don't go in our parliament. That's constitutional law. My friend as a leader of opposition, I think he in charge of that part. He need to put pressure on the prime minister and let these people start declaring so we can see what's happening in this country. Right? We always feeling the pension. This is our country. This only belongs to the 60 family, you know. This belongs to every Bahamian people. They don't give us nothing. All they're doing is taxing. I can't see nothing that me and my train and my grandchildren can say, well, I think they're trying to do something. The place is filthy. It's nasty. The children, the radars need to be trimmed. People walking on the sidewalk, got to walk on the road. What kind of country does this we running? So it's 2025, man. You guys got to put the press on these people, man. If you want to do it, we can do it. The GNN, we can start doing our job. And thanks for taking my call, my brother.
Okay. Every day they're asked the tough questions. Every day people are asked to respond, and every day we are given the runaround by your elected officials, the people that you all rally and go out and wear T-shirts for. Your people get in, making all kinds of promises, and then turn their backs on answering questions every single day. So we're all in a terrible place because of these people that we've put in charge who decide when they want to talk. So, but I hear you. It is frustrating when you don't get the answers. Been asking about this one for 5 whole months, only to be told now that it goes to the DPP the last day of the year. And lots of other ridiculousness said. But that's unbelievable. I'll tell you another story about how things work around here in our 9 o'clock hour. Again, they're coming from us. I don't know what this is about, what's happening in our country, but people are not accountable at all. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
I'm good. You have any guests?
Laverne was here, but she's under the weather. Turn on your radio for us, please.
No problem. Yes, Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to my Bahamas. What I wanted to say is what GNN was talking about, right? Good morning, GNN. Happy New Year. Yeah, I don't like the fact that what he has to say, there was something that you said when he was done, is that be careful of getting into trouble. See, that's our problem in this country. Too much secrecy. If you know something, they like to say, if you know something, say something, and then if you say something, you have to live by the whip after that. That's not right. He should be able to clearly state what it is, and he has to say.
No. That's not what I meant.
And they don't call in names.
That's not what I meant. What I meant is I hope you didn't break the law to get the information that you have come into possession of, right? That's what I mean. Don't get yourself into problems like that.
True, understandable. But, when we know things in this country, we are afraid to say anything because we're going to be beat either politically or we're going to lose our job.
No, that's not what I mean.
Pardon?
That's not what I meant. Just don't break the law to prove a point.
Yes, I understood what you meant by that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that he didn't. But however, he probably does know somebody who showed him some stuff, However, there's too much secrecy. We really need, this year, we need to work on this government for freedom of information. We need to know who does what, when, where, and how. You understand? Because too much things goes on. We out here know they're a part of us, so that's what we know they know. But they like to pretend that they don't know. That's our problem. We need to open up in this country when it comes to those who are in public life. If we need to know what's going on, then tell us what's going on.
Okay.
And I pray that you guys get more information from these people so the country can hold them more accountable, so we could stop re-electing numbskull the people. Sorry for saying it like that.
Well,
but people who don't mean us no good.
That's a good way to put it.
Pardon me?
That's a good way to put it. I like it.
Yeah, just say what's happening with these people. Expose them so we could know when we go to in that ballot box, so we could know what to say or who to put there or who not to put back there.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's take this other call before we go to a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi. Good morning.
Hi. Morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Happy New Year to the Bahamas and to you guys and 96.9.
Same to you. Happy New Year.
I agree with the woman, just previous, that there's a lot of secrecy in the Bahamas. I don't know why, especially when it comes to national issues. But I will also add to that, we need to be more genuine about caring about what goes on in this country. And I would like to challenge the media to be brave. To be brave, ask the hard questions, right? And it doesn't matter who it is, Prime Minister, whoever it is, the opposition. The official opposition is not operating like the official opposition. They are too laid back, and only when it depends on who too, the media too. the media is too laid back. There are many things that are happening in this country. That situation with Michael Johnson and the audio, that should have not gone quiet. That is corruption at the highest level.
I don't think it went quiet. I don't think it went quiet. But they were withholding information for too long. They're taking their sweet time. I mean, I wish they would do that with all investigations.
You say taking their sweet time, but it went too quiet, right? Because crime in our country is a problem, right? And what that does, I mean, especially for me, I'm just a regular citizen, right? I felt like I can't trust the police. Okay? Mm-hmm. You have to nip those kind of things in the bud and deal with it right away. That's just my opinion, but we need to be brave, especially the media. Ask the hard questions and follow up and follow up and follow up.
Yeah. That's happening. Again, sadly, you're not getting the answers, no matter what.
No.
So we've got a bigger problem. Well,
make them answer, Dwight.
No, what does that mean?
They're accountable to the people.
What do you mean make them answer? I mean,
make them answer by putting pressure on them, constantly asking the hard questions and requiring the answer.
So let me tell you what happens here. And so it cannot just be on the media, because that does happen. And every day you can hear it, especially with a certain chairman who will attack the media. He always does this. Every day, because he says, oh, they're cronies for this, whatever, because they are getting asked those questions. But then they reframe it to say, oh, that's an F&M station, or that's a PLP station, and that's why they keep asking and saying these things.
Dwight?
No, this is the point. No, listen, I'm saying the same thing you're saying. What I'm saying is that the public has to stand behind the media as well. So do not allow them to say, oh, he's only doing this because he's an F&M, or he's only doing this because he was a PLP and he was trying to get a seat and they didn't want him. That's why he's acting like this, right? And that happens every day here.
Support is needed, yes. From
absolutely.
The people. The people need to step up and not be afraid.
We all need to do this. Everybody needs to not be afraid.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We do. And another thing, too, which I don't like, right? It depends on whom it is bringing a particular issue to the public, right? If it's not a big-time political person or somebody in the official opposition, if somebody else brings it, it depends on whether that will be given any airtime. In my opinion, that's how I see it, right?
I hear you.
But once the media can ascertain that it is verified and it's factual, I think that any and everybody should be allowed to bring those bring issues to the fore, and that person be given given the opportunity.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you for calling in.
Okay.
Continue to call us. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You are live on the air. Happy New Year.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Dwight. Sparky here.
Hi.
All right, first of all, Happy New Year to you and your family and your staff, co-workers, everybody. And Happy New Year, Bahamas.
Same to you.
Dwight, I proved something over the holiday weekend. December 26th, Boxing Day, I wasn't supposed to leave home because of my little problem I'm going through. But I went down there and I parked in West Street, and I took out my walker. It's not a wheelchair, it's something like a wheelchair. I could sit in it, but I could stand up and walk with it with two arms, so, and I roll it down there. And I rolled from West Street, down from West Street to Parliament Square. I haven't seen my MP he's gone in there other than twice because I was asking him to do a project now. Not for him to give me anything, Dwight. Not for him to come around my house and do nothing for me, but a project I wanted to do in the area where I live. I couldn't see him since election day. But I know he's going to be sitting down there with Mrs. Davis and Mr. Christie in Parliament Square. I know he was going to be there. And that is the Minister of Youth, Sport and Culture, Mario Boleg. And I've been talking about this over and over, but I know he's going to be there, Dwight. So I walked down and I struggled, dizzy sometimes, almost falling. And I went there and I say, hey, Mr. Prime Minister, hey, Mr. Davis, hey, Sparky, hey, Perry, hey, Sparky. Mr. Davis said, see you, boy, here. I said, Mr. Davis, I know that's my boy. I know he was going to be here. I said, I've been telling you for years I can't see him. He said, you got to tell him something now. I said, Chief, tell you, Mr. Sultan, Mr. Prime Minister, I don't want to speak to him. And I tell him that right in his face in the front of the Prime Minister, I don't want to speak to him.
Okay. Thank you, Sparky. Wow. That's a lot of effort to say the truth. Ooh. Boy, that's when you want to send a message. That's when you want to send a message. Okay. Oh, man. Good morning. Caller, you're on the air. Are you there? Everybody's on the floor now, I guess. Hey, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning.
Wow.
Is LeVoy still there?
No. She had to leave us.
Okay, all right. Well, Happy New Year. Give God thanks she made it over.
Mm-hmm.
But Dwight, just picking back on that lady who called earlier, I don't know which country she lives in. She lives here?
Which one are you talking about?
The one who said that you all must force the people to give an answer, that we must force the people to give the answer.
I think she means be even more aggressive, which is challenging. But
how can you make people accountable?
Yeah.
The government is the one who passes the laws, and they the ones who break their own laws. The government has the declaration of all the MPs, right? Those who fail to disclose their assets, they're supposed to be fined, but only the Prime Minister can make that decision. How can we enforce that, Dwight?
Mm-hmm.
How can we make them more accountable? You can only ask the question. They can refuse the answer. They can refuse to do what it was. The opposition is continually asking the government every time. I think the second Wednesday or whatever is supposed to be questioning period in the House of Assembly.
Yeah.
And every time there's some kind of filibustering, there's this and that and whatnot. How can we make the government more accountable?
They keep telling us in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks we'll learn this. In 3 weeks we'll hear more, and yet it's months now. Months later.
There's always, okay, so the only way that the Bahamian people will deal with that is at the polls. That's how we deal with this procrastination thing like that. It's at the polls. And before I go, Dwight, this Michael Johnson thing, right? And God knows when that will, if or when it will get to court. But why is it taking so long with this Adrian Gibson case to come to an end? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it taking almost 2 years and two and a half years for them to finish this case? You see why people don't want to sign up for no kind of jury duty? Suppose you was one of those jurors. It means that you would have to be from your job for almost 2 years? Come on, man. The courts need to try these cases in a reasonable amount of time. There's no need, if you have the evidence and whatnot, for a case to be dragging on for all this length of time, man. I know a case of a friend of mine who this case has been going on for 7 years, Dwight. 7 long years. This person can't buy nor sell. They have to report every Monday to the police station, and the courts cannot come to a conclusion as to what is the result of this case. This is inhumane, and it's sickening in this country, man. And we need to fix all of these things. Thank you, buddy. Have a good
All right, thanks a lot. All right, callers, hold on the line. We're going to take a break for news and some commercials, and when we come back, we'll pick this up. We want to have more on this, what's happening with the CID and the probe into the police force, and where the police force goes from here. They've got a new commissioner. coming Friday, but a lot of work to do to rebuild that trust. I want to talk to you about that, what needs to happen for you to, again, have faith in your Royal Bahamas Police Force. We'll get into that after the break. Stay with us.
This Christmas, Fidelity Bank is still the one. One easy monthly payment, the only one with a quick approval, and one chance to win an extra $5,000 in cash. Apply for a personal loan today for your chance to win big. Call 356-7764 for more details and make that move to Fidelity Bank today.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This holiday season, stay connected to the ones you love with Alive. Switch today and get 5 gigabytes of data free with your first 30-day plan. Whether you're sharing holiday moments or enjoying Jonkaduan Bay, Alive keeps you connected all season long. Visit BeAlive.com to make the switch today. It's good to be alive.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's Tuesday. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Morning Event Business on this Tuesday, January 2nd, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight. Happy New Year to everybody. We are talking about the big stories that came out of the end of last year, what we are learning now about where things stand with the probe into the CID, the Criminal Investigations Department, that the outgoing police commissioner, Clayton Fernander, is calling complex, multifaceted, and thorough investigation that now has resulted in other officers implicated during the course of the investigation. And Johnson resigned a few days ago amid this investigation, and the police force turned their file over to the Director of Public Prosecutions, and now this is all in the hands of the DPP, Cordell Frazier, to see where things go. Will there be charges? Will there be anything that comes out of this? Those are the questions we're asking. Who else has been implicated? What will happen with this? And the wider questions, what does this mean for the police force in a period of transition right now? A new commissioner coming in Friday. A lot of people, a caller earlier said that there is eroded trust with the police force. So many incidents, a terrible year for the force, 2024. Officers on rape charges, quite a few, theft and all manner of things, just almost every week. Something horrible involving a police officer. And it's frightening, it's scary. So let's talk about it all. Let's continue to get your reaction to the resignation and where you think this is going to go with, and we're all praying that this doesn't take as long as this 5-month investigation. And what's next? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free, 242-300-5720. I'll reread one of these articles again for you if you are just joining us. And one that is causing me to have even more concerns about how this investigation has gone and what comes next here. But let's hear from these callers, and then we'll get to your text messages and get to that article as well. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Happy New Year.
Hi. Good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Okay. You can hear me clear?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Happy New Year to you and Guardian, and also to the entire Bahamas and the world.
Thank you.
Now,
You too.
I only want to ask this question, and I'm just speculating. I want to find this out. Your opinion, actually. Do you think because there's a new commissioner who I'm proud to say is a woman, that she's coming in now, Mr. Clayton Fernandez, he has resigned. You think that may be the reason why this Michael Johnson gentleman, and I wish him no disrespect, that he also resigned? Think so? Because he was on a garden leave. I never heard anything about that. All right? But now the commissioner, he has resigned, right? And now a new person is in charge, which is a lady. Now, this man who's on garden leave, which I'm glad he's doing, he's now resigned. You think maybe?
I don't know. Maybe. But I mean, it
don't sound
it's bigger than that.
You?
They have a case. The case is right. They've given all the evidence to the Director of Public Prosecutions. And we were told this is going to be an in-depth investigation.
Hello?
So it's possible, but also maybe not. It's just the timing. It happened at around the same time. But I mean, what if it is? What is it to you? I mean, what?
No, here's the thing. What I'm saying, right? It's the same thing what you just mentioned a while ago, right? The prosecutor and all of that. That has been going on. That's been going on and on and on. But all of a sudden now, the commissioner has resigned.
No, I don't think it's.
And as if to say, well, okay, I'm not saying any implication with the commissioner. I'm just saying that now the gentleman is saying he's resigning too.
No, I don't think it's all of a sudden.
Listen, everything is blowing out of the water to me. I think so.
It's all.
I'm putting you in no position. Like I say, Happy New Year to you and the entire Bahamas. I'm just putting it out there.
Not really. Thank you very much for the call, though. It's not all of a sudden. So it's happening at the same time, right? Now that we have our case, we've wrapped up the investigations. We're setting this over to the DPP, and now you resign. So yes, that is happening as in the same week of a new commissioner. But I mean, as I was asking you, so what if it was that case? What does that mean? This is not done. He isn't off the hook. So it doesn't really matter. This is, some might say, just the beginning. Just the beginning, really, or very near the beginning. So, not really. But anyway, let's take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning to you, Dwight, and Laverne. Get better. We need you for Grand Bahama, and to the wider Bahamas, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Dwight, for the police force, right, there's a number of things, but for the police force, this just has to be just the beginning. What you're seeing here is endemic failure of systems that we don't know even how far this goes back retroactively. When you take this in context of even the indictment, and even the indictment that was mentioned by the former Prime Minister minutes going back to 2020, or even before that. And so what you have is systematic failure of various different things. It's very important because you're talking about the armed forces of the country. And if you look carefully at this, you can see where it touches all five of them. It touches the Department of Corrections because it says that information travels in and out of that institution that's supposed to be secured with no access or communications for those individuals that's been held. You have the Defense Force. You have the Customs Border you have the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Okay, and so when you look at each of these things, this is huge, and so we have to look at this holistically across the board and find out what systems of checks and balances and accountability that we have in place. But then it then comes back to leadership. It goes to the cabinet and even to Parliament. It says that because again, who are the gatekeepers and who are the keepers of those gatekeepers? And Vehemence have been screaming this across the airways and across social media and other places, and it has been ignored. It's like we have no system of accountability in anything, even if in our governmental ministries. So you go through every single ministry, the lack of information, the lack of accountability, the lack of functioning. And so, yeah, I adopt the statement of the former Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Brent Simonet. The country seems to be in a free fall, and we don't want to admit that is where we are. And we need a reboot of leadership. We need a reboot of standards. And we need, and one of the biggest failures for me is supposed to be the church. When you go to our so-called constitutional preamble, they are supposed to be the guardian keepers, but they have been pulled in, sucked in, and absorbed as part of the system when they should be able to stand out. And I would like to take a public challenge for the church to challenge me on this position, because we said that from the Christian principles, and they took the big position in from the beginning. And, sure, they say, yes, you don't know what you're preaching in the church, but clearly whatever you're preaching has not been effective because it hasn't left your four walls. And so I think we need a wider conversation of what's now, what's new, and what's next.
Okay. Don't go yet, Sian. Let me ask you this, because this is the thing that's bothering me the most, right? This line from this article in the Tribune that the commissioner said that Johnson was questioned 2 weeks ago as part of the probe.
Yeah, and no, that is because, again, that's lack of information. It's almost like, oh, by the way, he didn't say anything. He said he was arrested. There's a difference between brought in for questioning, question. He said they were arrested. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a totally definition than being a person of interest or being discussed. And so it then it goes to say what is it we're trying to keep away from the Bahamian people. But what's amazing is that you have the legal fraternity now, because you did right. Every time you look at a police officer, every person they've touched, arrested, questioned, whatever, now comes into question from the legal system standpoint.
So what do you think this means, though? That this is the first time they spoke to him, or is this the most recent time? This is part of the arrest in this incident. What do you think this could possibly have been the first time?
But see, from the first time they speak to him, I would assume that he has a level of competence, and especially another attorney. So it would have been that they must have questioned him before, and this arrest was another step. And then I want to know how it became an unarrest.
So most recent time. We're going to assume that when they say 2 weeks ago, that was the most recent time they spoke to him, right?
Yes, there has to be.
Possibly in 5 months be the first time.
No, but again, if that's the first time they had to arrest him to get information. I mean, but right, for me, it was very simple. When the commissioner comes into the place, right, he asks them, "Is this your voice? Yes or no?" That's the most simplest thing. That should have happened the day after. Yeah. See, but my concern with the garden leave, if you look at every other policeman who was interdicted or whatever they call it, this individual was allowed to go on garden leave with full salary. That's what you have to understand with it. And it's seemingly that he's allowed to resign with all of his benefits. All the other policemen, I don't know if that's the rule, but all the other policemen who have been interdicted and other things, they lose their benefits and all of the things they've accumulated. So it seems as if, though, I question what was so different between a garden leave and going the next day, okay, and ask him. I mean, when they interdicted the last police officer, did they ask him that during the tape? And if he say no, then what? He would have been able to stay with his salary? Yeah. It seems to be a different standard that is being established.
And we're wondering if it's because of his position, his ranking in the force, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Is that what it is? But they won't tell us.
No, right. But I'm saying, but they could have taken away whatever, and then he could have made an appeal. Every one of those individuals have a right to make an appeal. You don't give him the benefit of the doubt because of the statute. In fact, the penalty should have been harsher but that because of who he is, to set an example going through. I mean, the new commissioner of police, Ms. Knowles, has a mammoth task, and if she can pull this off in the light of our expectations from women in this society, this would actually set something. I mean, change the dynamics of exactly what women is capable of representing in leadership. And I hope that we as a community, as a whole and individually, stand behind her. And I hope that she finds the best of the best within the police force and without the police force to come together and accept recommendations as to where we go from here. Because this is huge. Because if we cannot trust the police and law enforcement in this country, then we are in trouble.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, C. Allen. Okay. Continue to call in, folks. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us. Facebook us. Text us, 422-4796. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No? Okay, so let me read this article again. And just in case you missed it, and we'll get to your text messages. So this is from the Tribune. So outgoing Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez said police arrested and interviewed a former high-ranking officer and an attorney at the center of a major corruption investigation involving leaked voice recordings. Fernandez said both men were released pending further inquiries, as his office awaits the Director of Public Prosecution's review and recommendation in the matter. He suggested the investigation's scope was broader than initially revealed, saying, quote, "It's not just the voice notes, it goes beyond the voice note." The investigation surrounded voice notes that purported to capture a quid pro quo arrangement involving a senior police officer, a lawyer, and two murdered men, Michael Fox Jr. and Dino Smith. The conversation centered around a $1.5 million airport bank car heist in November 2023. Fox Jr. and Smith, both of whom are now dead, were suspects in the matter but were never charged. Two other men, 34-year-old Oral Roberts and 26-year-old Akil Holmes, were charged in connection with the robbery. Roberts was killed in Fox Hill last year. The police chief's comments to reporters followed the the resignation of Michael Johnson, the former head of the Criminal Investigations Department, CID. Johnson had taken garden leave last year while authorities investigated the case. He was questioned 2 weeks ago as part of the probe, and this is the part that's bothering me very much. According to Commissioner Fernandez, asked if Johnson was pressured to resign based on the findings of the police investigation, Fernandez said he could not comment on what led to his decision to leave the force. He told reporters that police could not discharge Johnson because the investigations were still ongoing. In a statement on Tuesday, Commissioner Fernandez confirmed that he had referred matters involving the other officers uncovered in the investigation to the incoming deputy commissioner, who will be responsible for discipline. Pressed for more details yesterday, the commissioner revealed that more than 4 officers were implicated. Fernandez saying, quote, "That's why we continue to say that we don't investigate in the media, and the investigators took our time, and that's how we got to where we are today. We want to throw the net at the end of the day, not only looking at one individual, but as we probe the investigation, we find that a number of other officers were implicated in the matter." Fernandez had promised to report to the public on the matter before the end of the year, last year. He said police were satisfied with their investigation after completing their due diligence into what he described as a complex probe. He said he hopes the DPP will provide her recommendation in a reasonable time. Boy, all right, let's hear from you. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Are you there? Call us back, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-423-4259, and toll-free 300-5720. The texter says that when you do an investigation into a matter, you wait until you get enough information before you question a suspect. It normally happens at the end of the investigation. 5 months, so it still can't accept that this was the first time. That's not possible. It just doesn't make any sense. Dwight, some investigations are more complex than others. You have to know that. I did investigations for over 35 years, so I know what I'm speaking about. I cannot buy this. Cannot buy this. You got somebody on leave with full pay for 5 months, and you decide 5 months into it that you're finally going to question them. That they don't think that can't be right. That can't be right. That cannot be right. This texter says here, I see that several courts are moving to the building on Burnett Road. Hopefully this helps to solve some of their issues. We'll see. Don't let them say that was AI, because you can clearly hear someone in the background advising that young man what to say. This texter says here, it does not make sense. If you have evidence that an employee is stealing, you send them on leave to confirm the theft. But in the course of the investigation, you find 5 other people were involved. Do you continue to pay the first person for months because you uncovered a wider conspiracy? It does not make sense. It does not make sense. The commissioner released a statement on the eve of a holiday. Well, it was the actual holiday. Everybody knows except, the first one on Tuesday, sure. Everybody knows exactly what's happening here. Bury the story while the public is distracted by fun and games. Well, they can't do that. Where's the investigation into the high-ranking politician? That's a totally different matter. But I hear you. There's a lot of things that need to be investigated, a lot of things that we need to really find out more information about. The texter continues, it did not take them 6 months to analyze that tape and confirm the identities belonging to the voices. Either they confirmed the persons on the tape or they did not. If they confirm the persons involved, you don't need one other piece of evidence to fire someone for this egregious activity. And you don't need to wait around to uncover anyone else, because this isn't a sting. Everyone knows you have the tapes. I don't think he resigned because the commissioner was changing, because the commissioner indicated months ago that he'd have a conclusion at the end of the year. Yeah, and I don't think that was a significant factor. And more than likely, this was a deliberate delay to afford Johnson months of paid employment as opposed to abrupt firing. Wow, that's dark. Caller, are you there? Good morning. You're on the air.
Mr. Strachan, how you doing, sir?
Doing well. Good morning.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you. Happy New Year.
Mr. Strachan, you know, if that was a police that something happened to, or a politician, you know, they would have closed that case long time, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But they always say, start from the small things. Mr. Strachan, I think if you start from the big things and come down, there's no way to stop it, you know. Because as soon as you start from the small, Mr. Strachan, as soon as you touch someone with power, everything changes. But if you start from the top, you can't change it no more. Everything got to wait.
I think I get what you're saying. I think.
Have a good day, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. The police force, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough to overcome this. I mean, they need to hire local, international PR firms, maybe from other galaxies, to help them to reform their image. I don't know how this is going to work. This is a tough one. This is a very tough one. This texter says here, please, Dwight, we are asking the government to fix the street lights everywhere, fix the thousands of potholes, clean up the streets, clean up the overgrown bushes, fine people for speeding and running the red lights. Please tell them to do their job. Yeah, okay. We have, we have a female Speaker of the House, and the place is a daily circus. This texter, what are you doing? Already? We're going to start off the year like this? Really? We have a female Governor General, and both parties still playing games instead of really governing. But I am hopeful that the new Commissioner of Police will clean up the entire force and wish her all the best, since her other female counterparts in positions of power are clearly maintaining the status quo that got us here. Rise up and stand up, women. It's your time to help save the nation. God bless. I feel several brain cells have died since I read that one. Thank you for the... Do I even need to explain? No. You know, I don't think anyone... We haven't been very happy with a Speaker of the House in a long time. So while the current one has some very interesting issues, it's not... You can't blame it on... her being a woman. Please stop. And then the Governor General, what I keep asking, what is a Governor General? Please stop texting nonsense to this, well, at least to this show. Please stop. Please, for the love of God. seriously. Anyway, this person says here, wait, Johnson was allowed to resign after the evidence in the probe was significant enough for the prosecution's office to get involved? 2025 already shaping up to be more of the same. And Seattle raises valid points, but I think he was allowed to resign because the rabbit hole, the rabbit hole runs deep and he needs compensation. And I can't read the rest. Okay. Wow. Anyway, this texter says, Dwight, I saw this man walking in the middle of Bay Street behind a group and wondered if that was Sparky. Wondered how he was allowed to walk right up on persons at a supposedly secured public event. He's Sparky. That's why. But he had to tell his MP that he doesn't want to talk to him. He had to tell him, I'm here to tell you that I don't want to talk to you. I walked all this way to tell you I don't want to talk to you. Dwight, there is a formal process for dismissing gazetted officers, so you are correct. Rank plays a role. The arrest likely triggered the resignation at this time. Okay. I hear you. There's a lot of little intricacies with the force. It's kind of annoying. Maybe they need to look at that, simplifying some things. It's like, I don't like that word. But a quagmire with the force, everything, right? You can do this, but no, you can't do that. This one can do that, but this one can't. And you can't talk to this one, but you can. That's craziness. And a recipe for disaster and corruption, if you ask me. But what do I know? This person says here, when I heard the statement from the Commissioner of Police regarding Michael Johnson, I wept for the rabid PLP supporters. What? Because the rubbish, that's what you're trying to say. That's not what you wrote. Okay. Their release could only be for their benefit. The rest of us knew the outcome from the start. Interesting text. Okay. Let's take a break. We'll pick this up in our final half hour of the show. Keep the messages coming and keep the calls coming in. We're talking about this and the way forward for the police force. What do you think the new commissioner is going to have to do to reform the image of our Royal Bahamas Police Force? What has to happen in your mind for this to regain, if it did have it, respect and trust from the Bahamian people after a very, very bad year for the police force? We're going to get into that in just a bit. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express. Or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do?
What does do?
Hey, check the website once.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express. Or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit cfal.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Chairman of the Clearing Banks Association, Gavin Bowe, telling Guardian Business that his association has not been formally engaged with the government on the impending switch from monthly to biweekly salaries for public servants and wants better clarity on the policy position. Bowe says that not doing so could lead to ambiguity. He expressed concerns that the changeover will impact how public servants obtain salary deductions and also that the change may force them to have to bank with a specific bank to get new accounts. Chief Labor Consultant with the Labor Resource Unit in the Ministry of Labor, Bernard Evans, saying at an Office of the Prime Minister press briefing on December 18th that if the government had consulted with the commercial banks on the changeover to a biweekly pay schedule, that, quote, nothing would change in terms of salary deductions going to creditors. Bowe says the government representatives may have spoken to one commercial bank on the issue, but that the Clearing Banks Association as an entity has not been engaged in discussions with the government on the changeover. Payment Contractors Association President Leonard Sands says the second home market in the country should pick up during the Donald Trump administration in the U.S. Sands telling Guardian Business that after coming off a pretty good 2024, 2025 will be in line with the current growth trends projected by the BNSI, the Bahamas National Statistical Institute. The institute, in its advanced estimates for quarter two, said construction activity during the first half of 2024 increased by 57 million compared to the same period in 2023. Sands says the conventional wisdom is that large corporations will make more money under a Trump and Republican-led U.S. government, and that in turn will have a trickle-down effect on American investors who wish to invest their money in a second home in this country. The Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board will take on another project similar to the Queen's Staircase renovation it carried out in 2024. That's going to board CEO Joy Gibralou. Gibralou stopped short of revealing what the new initiative will be, but she explained that, like the Queen's Staircase, the NPIPB will take on the restoration of an area that is important to Bahamians and is an attraction for the tourism industry. And AML Foods Limited announcing that it has completed the purchase of Burroughs One-Stop Grocery Store in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, for $2.5 million. AML says that the store will be transformed into Eleuthera Markets. AML explaining in a press statement that the sale was completed on December 24th. The store will be closed for 2.5 months to undergo renovations. The company is investing an additional $1.6 million on the transformation. President and CEO Gavin Watchorn saying that the company was grateful to the Burroughs family for entrusting their family business to AML. He said the company will carry out the legacy of the Burroughs family in the Eleuthera community as well. More on this story in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, global shares mixed today, the first day of trading for 2025, with losses of more than 2% in Chinese benchmarks. Investors remain cautious over what U.S. President-elect Donald Trump might do once he takes office, including raising tariffs on imports from China and other Asian countries. A survey of factory managers in China showing activity expanded after a slower pace in December as the index fell to 50.5 from 51.5 in November on a scale where readings above 50 show expansion. New orders, employment, and business sentiment weakened. Upbeat talk by Chinese leader Xi Jinping in a New Year's address did little to raise optimism among market players who are hoping for more aggressive action to support the economy and boost share prices. Elsewhere in the Asia-Pacific, markets rose. Australia's S&P ASX rose, and South Korea's Kospi was flat. Investors will get an updated snapshot of U.S. construction spending for November today, while U.S. manufacturing numbers for December will be released Friday. Skyrocketing prices for companies in the artificial intelligence business, such as NVIDIA and Supermicrocomputer, helped lift the market to new heights. And Tesla global sales rose 2.3% in the fourth quarter, but the increase wasn't enough to overcome a sluggish first half, and sales for the full year fell short of 2023 numbers. It was the first year-over-year sales drop for the Austin, Texas company since at least 2015, and it came despite offers of discounts such as 0% financing, free charging, and low-priced leases. Tesla delivered 495,570 vehicles from October through December, boosting deliveries to 1.79 million for the full year, but that was 1.1% below 2023 sales of 1.81 million, as overall demand for electric vehicles in the U.S. and elsewhere slowed. And Ukraine halting Russian gas supplies to European customers through its pipeline network after a pre-war transit deal expired at the end of 2024, and almost 3 years into Moscow's all-out invasion of its neighbor. Even as Russian troops and tanks moved into Ukraine in February 2022, Russian natural gas kept flowing through the country's pipeline network, set up when Ukraine and Russia were both part of the Soviet Union, to Europe under a 5-year agreement. Russia's state-owned energy giant Gazprom earned money from the gas, and Ukraine collected transit fees. Well, Ukraine's energy minister confirming that Kyiv has stopped the transit in the interest of national security. At a summit in Brussels last month, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky vowed that Kyiv would not allow Moscow to use the transits to earn additional billions. However, he briefly held open the possibility of gas flows continuing if payments to Russia were withheld until the war ends. Gazprom saying in a statement Wednesday that it has no technical and legal possibility of sending gas through Ukraine due to Kyiv's refusal to extend the deal. Before the war, Russia supplied nearly 40% of the European Union's pipeline natural gas. Gas flowed through 4 pipeline systems, one under the Baltic Sea, one through Belarus and Poland, and one through Ukraine, and one under the Black Sea through Turkey to Bulgaria. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading at the end of the year 2024, last day of trading. Your market movers, Commonwealth Bank, moving 39,050 shares, closing at $5.07, up 3 cents. Consolidated Water up 3 cents, closing at $5.20. Emir Incorporated down 6 cents, closing at $9.15. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,004.18, unchanged. That's your Market Watch. And that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. We are back with Morning Blend Business on this Thursday morning, our first show for 2025. Welcome back, everybody. And we are talking about the police force. What a year 2024 was, not in a good way, for the force. So many black eyes. I mean, boy. Between the CID probe and then the U.S. indictment, the drug and gun smuggling operation that was uncovered through the airport, what a lot. And as you recall, seemingly every few weeks, you're reporting on officers being brought before the court on rape charges, assault and murder and all manner of things. And what will this new year be like? What will this mean for the new commissioner who has to rebuild the force after so much, so very much, and the allegations of corruption and accusations that continue to swirl, people saying they have lost trust in the force? What do you feel needs to happen? How can they rebuild the trust? We know it's not everybody. We know they're very wonderful officers on the force all over the country. But how do we get them to shine? What needs to happen? I want to hear from you. How will you trust your police force going forward? What would make it easier for you to do that? Caller, what say you on this? Good morning.
Yes, good morning again, Mr. Strachan, and I'm sorry to hear that Mr. Laverne is not feeling well.
Yes.
Apparently they're saying something going around, so that should give individuals a reason to stay home if you're eating and nowhere to go.
Well, it is flu season, so, hey, that's what happens.
But, Mr. Strachan, I could probably give you some pointers on what you was talking about with the force. But earlier, the lady who called about saying that individuals in society or institutions were falling down and not like doing the job she felt that they supposed to be doing. I totally agree with her when she was talking about the secrecy and the lack of transparency and stuff like that. I totally agree with her. And the lady who spoke also about the resignation of the commissioner of police in the file, when she was talking, I was thinking to myself that maybe, just thinking, because I just like to think, I was thinking they said maybe that it could be that if the file is now out of the hands of the police and now into the DPP, the new commissioner of police cannot even take that investigation any further, even if she wanted to, because there's no file.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it could be, in a way, to say that remove it so that there could be no further investigation by new eyes, because, you must understand she's an individual who's living in Freeport, so she mightn't have the friendly, buddy with individuals here. You know what I mean? Just saying, you know what I mean? It could be something to that extent, too. And I also want to see, too, how long it takes for the DPP to do something with the file, because it could also just be a way of passing the buck. And now it could just sit there because now, you know what I mean, we have somebody else to complain to, you know what I mean? But as it relates to the force, Mr. Strachan, I feel as if we need to the force needs to clean itself up, first of all, Mr. Strachan.
What does that mean?
Like all the individuals on the force who are good officers, who are on the force and who have integrity, right? They have a better understanding of what's going on inside it than we do. You know what I mean? They know, they have a better idea of who may be involved in corrupt dealings, etc., right? What they need to do is they need to push from inside, right, to get the force to be cleaned up, because we don't know what's going on inside there. You know what I mean? So all the good officers, because we know we have good officers on the force, they need to push and pressure the new commissioner of police for the force to be an institution of integrity. You know what I mean? We need all the individuals who on the force who locking people up for things that they currently doing while they're officers. We need them to resign. You know, that kind of way. I mean, just calling out to the conscience of those type of individuals. And see, and the things on the force, Mr. Strachan, if what they call it fraternization or something like that, where you're not allowed to like date your co-workers and things like that. If stuff like that is not allowed on the force, then it should not be tolerated. That's what I'm talking about. The force needs to become and hold itself to the standard that is that. Am I still on?
Yeah, you're listening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I heard it. The force needs to hold itself to the standard that and the principles that the policy says it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Furthermore, Mr. Strachan, I feel as if they need to extend the training period of officers. Not only that, they need to raise the educational qualification also, because you must understand, Mr. Strachan, these are individuals who have the discretion to take life. All right. Something that cannot be undone, or like, you know what I mean, like, you know, you can't change that, you can't bring it back.
Yeah.
So if individuals are walking around with the discretion to kill, right, they should be the best of us. You understand? So I feel as if we need to raise the education for those who want to join the force. We need to extend the period of time and bring them, and if they are law officers, Mr. Strachan, bring them up to a level of a lawyer or a judge. Whereas issues on up to a certain level can be dealt with by police officers.
Yeah.
Like they can not only arrest individuals or whatever, but they can render a judgment in the situation, whereas a court trial is unnecessary in the situation. You understand? So that way I feel as if we could at least we could have better individuals because, you know what I mean? So
I think they kind of do that in some regards, but I hear you. They kind of do that in some regards, but I mean, it's kind of...
Yeah, but but we need to do that so they could, you know what I mean? We just need to make them better individuals because, like I say before, most importantly, these individuals have the discretion to take life.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you very much.
I feel also, Mr. Strachan, when it comes to the justice system, right? I'm curious, like, why does it take so long for a case to even come before a judge? You know what I mean? Shouldn't an issue be heard while everyone's memory is fresh and while the desire for justice is high? You know what I mean? Why have things so like that issue with the gentleman who had the guns and the bullets and the bulletproof vest and different things like that? His case was like boom, boom, bam. I mean, that was done with like in the jiffy bump because the evidence was clear, blind, plain, right? So I mean, like in cases like that, or not even in cases like that where the evidence is so clean, but where there's where an individual has been charged with a crime, like for example, the issue with some individual with some children's home the other day who was granted emergency bail. Why would a case like that take months and years before that comes before the judge? Why that can't be heard now?
Well, I mean, if you plead...
You know what I mean? But understand, Mr. Strong, why that can't be heard right now?
Yeah, there's an answer. I mean...
You know what I mean?
If you plead guilty, it really changes everything. If you plead not guilty, then you got that...
Yeah, I don't care what he plead, Mr. Strong.
Well, that's very important.
You know, but
that answers your question.
Okay, Mr. Strong.
That answers your question, right? So I guess the case that you mentioned, the first one, that person pleaded guilty. But I'm trying
to say this. If it was me who was charged, right, and I plead not guilty, right, then okay, boom. Say why you plead not guilty. Let's go. You know what I mean? So what if you plead not guilty? So what I mean, if I say guilty, not guilty, I mean, so what? Let's go, because you got to prove yourself. If you say you're not guilty, then let's go. You know what I mean? And furthermore, I feel as if, like, if I am charged with a crime, right?
That's not making sense.
Then I should sit down in the front, a judge, people, and they should question me. I shouldn't have to sit. I shouldn't be able to sit there quiet and let some individual who I paying to sweet talk these people to get me off the hook. I should sit there and the individuals who because when you question an individual, Mr. Strong, as a human being, question another human being, right? You have an idea how they answer and how they respond if this individual is speaking the truth or not. But if this individual is able to sit there and not say anything and have some well-spoken lawyer talk for them, then I think that's unfair.
What?
Question the person who did the crime.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's happening, but thank you for the call. Yeah, I don't know if you're. Boy. You made an interesting point though about the training. You threw me off at the end there. Wow. It's like, what's happening? Anyway, you made an interesting point about the police college, right? And you remember a few years back, I don't know what happened. They were going to transition this to a police academy. You remember all this? They were preparing for this. And it was supposed to involve, as you said, much more training, much more in depth. And I don't know why. I'm not sure. Maybe some of you do know what happened to the police academy concept that they were going to implement instead of this police college thing. But I think you're onto something. We need to explore that and get back to that, and let this be not just a few weeks before you crank out new officers, but you go through this program, and some of you aren't going to make it, and only the good ones are the ones who are going to pass it and stuff, right? Something like that we need it desperately. Okay, let's take another call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight again.
Hi. Hey.
Dwight, you saying something about what happened to the academy?
Yeah, I
don't know neither, but I could be not sure, but I'll bet like some kind of politics got involved with it.
Yeah, I think it did happen around a change of administrations, and you know what happens, right?
Like
That's
that.
very
Or
unfortunate.
Someone thought, well, they preferred them come up with the idea, and since it ain't them, they keep it under or knock it down.
Very sad.
Dwight, you ask us how we feel about it, though, you know?
And what do you think needs to happen to get the force, to get people to trust the force again? What do you think needs to happen? Tell me.
Dwight, excuse me. Dwight, first of all, you say that prosecutor named Cornell?
Cordell Frazier.
That's a man or woman?
That's a woman, director of public
I
prosecutions.
always thought that was a man.
Okay, it's a woman.
Okay, Fraser. Okay, and Dwight, you feel, I can tell you now, that you feel like anything on them recordings with Michael Johnson or the law, you feel like anything they say or did break the law? any law was broken?
What? What do you mean?
That's must be a crazy question. But
Yes.
I think so, but I ain't no lawyer and I ain't smart like some of them other
I don't think you need to be a lawyer to if this is very serious and everybody's dead now. That alone is terrifying. Everybody involved is dead. This is very serious.
Yes, it's scary. It's scary, and they talking foolishness to us, commissioner and everybody. They talking craziness to us like all us supposed to be stupid or something. So I say to myself, maybe the only way we get something out of, first of all, some of us, I could talk with me, never to trust the police force. I was trying to, from what you know over the years or what you hear or what you're seeing, and I could have seen before. And I just don't trust them now. It's scarier for me. And to hear the commissioner coming out talking to us like we stupid and stuff like that, like they trying to distract us and talking with more officers them and no calling no names and they want to investigate more. When some of us feel like, he say four more officers, and we have some good officers, but I believe we have too much bad officers on the force.
Okay.
The majority of officers on the force may be good officers, but too much bad right there, and it could be hundreds. And like I was saying, when the government change, maybe we can get some answers. Maybe we'll be able to touch them. I don't know if it's wrong to blame the government for any of this, because I feel like if they put their foot down, like how they say they try to deal with crime and stuff like that, and come up with ideas, this wouldn't have been dragging out so long. This wouldn't have been dragging out so long. I said to myself, the commissioner, he seems to be shameless, but he looked like he don't respect us like that.
Well,
to talk these kind of crazy and the newspaper talking about they question a man in 2 weeks. I know sometimes they say when them chief superintendents and them inspectors them leave the force or resign or finish their time, they could carry their gun home, they get the car and everything. You maybe give the man the whole thing, and they still saying they investigating. I
don't know. Well, that's a lot of questions there.
Right. I think we
can't.
should take. Some people might say this wrong. I'm willing to vote this government out because of that.
Well, it's a lot.
Dwight, how we can get some answers? They telling people, some people saying we need to pressure the media more. The media need to make them answer. The question, the media only could do what the media could do.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We got to put pressure on the politicians. Maybe if we change them and hope that the new government, do something with them. I still don't trust the police force. I think the Bahamian people need to be very careful giving information, although they say if you hear something, if you see something, but they ain't dealing with this the right way.
Oh, boy.
They're not dealing with this right. What you think should have come out of this whole thing? What should have happened? Any charges should come to anybody?
We will see, all right? So this is just, all of this is happening in 1 week. It's only been a few days now. So it's in the hands of, the spotlight is on the DPP. We will see what she does. And everyone's going to be watching very closely.
Yeah, let's see what they do, and let's give them a week, like you say. And if they don't do nothing, then when we change the government, we change the DPP too. Because these people they don't need to be answering to no prime minister or no attorney general or no minister of national security. Because sometimes these people come across like they corrupt. We need.
Oh Lord. Okay, I hear you. Just breathe. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Just breathe. We'll see. Right. Hopefully this won't take 5 more months. Hopefully this will be resolved before the end of this month. And we will learn more about how bad things are with the police force. Let's take these calls really quickly. Got a lot of great messages I want to get to before we wrap up. Good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. Hi. Good morning. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning again, Dwight.
Hi.
I just thought of something. Good morning and Happy New Year, Papa. What does it mean by when it is said freedom of the press? Because you guys can't seem to be tied big time by IRCA. So what does it mean to have freedom of the press? I'll hang up and listen to the answer. Thank you.
It's exactly what it sounds like. I mean, right? You ask questions without fear of intimidation and try to find out information to get to the public without anybody suppressing you. Right? And we do have that here in this country. Do the folks you ask questions to, do they answer? Not always, not often, and that is a challenge. But these are the same people who are going to be very hypocritical and say the media needs to do this, but they won't answer you. I mean, I will tell you what I went through a few days ago to get some folks to respond to what's happening with the LPG industry here. And, oh, my gosh, this place is special. We take that one call very quickly. We got to go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello, Dwight. Sorry. Mr. Dwight, let me tell you something.
Really quickly, Sparky.
Mr. Dwight, let me tell you something. You didn't grow up on the street like most of us, you know. You grew up in a nice life being taught about education from a headmaster of Donald Davis, Mr. Taffy Strong, Mr. Tracy Strong. But you didn't know nothing but the street life. This corruption was going on when I was a little 15, 16-year-old boy growing up in the valley. These police were corrupt because they used to be taking drugs from the boys on the corners and putting them right back on the street. I talk about inspectors of police from back in the 60s and the 70s, and they had a corrupt line going. These people on the force now, they learning corruption from the leaders that they were working under as they grew up on the force. They learned corruption from the police. Take that from me. They learn it from the police. They're just passing it down now. That's all happening.
Wow. Very scary. It's going to be tough. We pray for the new commissioner. Really quickly, I want to read this before we go. This person says here, I think they should look at how they are recruiting the new personnel for the force. So maybe they need to have degrees, associate degrees, to join and increase their pay. Okay. This person says here, if we change it from a 2-month program to an academy to extract the best, how will school dropouts and second chance criminals find jobs? You all, we don't have time for jokes, folks. This is very serious. Very, very serious. Would you encourage your good son or daughter to be a police officer? So that's the question. What do you need to do so that it can change, that people can say that's what I want to be, that's my career goals? What do we have to do to fix this? I want to read this before we go. This is a great message here. The challenge we have with the Michael Johnson matter is that nothing the police force has done to date, including the resignation of Johnson being arrested and the matter being referred to the Director of Public Prosecutions, nor the resignation of the Commissioner of Police, Fernandez, has restored trust, confidence, or faith in the police. Given that this has taken 5 long months, when the determination of the identity of the voice note could not reasonably take more than 2 weeks, and that's generous, we learned that former chief superintendent was arrested and interviewed about the matter by the police just 2 to 3 weeks ago. I believe that is exactly what happened. Otherwise, Commissioner Fernandez would have said it was the second or one of several interviews. Why did he not say that? Unless, of course, they did interview him earlier, knew for some time that the matter should have been referred to the DPP, but decided just to sit on it a while to allow Johnson the garden leave with full paid vacation at the expense of taxpayers' hard-earned money. Again, lots of questions remain. We do need answers to that. And maybe at the changeover ceremony on Friday, people will get a chance to ask Fernandez. I don't know if we're going to get the answer, but we need it. We need it desperately. Thank you all, folks, for being here on the first show of 2025. We're going to be back tomorrow with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.